Yeah, it's lame. Alright, now you know the name, but don't mention it unless you're ready for the flame. I'm just on mighty lane, chillin' in my lane, but they keep on talking, tryna ride my wave again. Everywhere I go, I hear my name in the wind, but you ain't on my level, you ain't even my kin. They gossip in the shadows, but I'm shining in the sun. Buying all the game, we the only ones who run. You keep on mentioning, but you ain't ever done what we did, how we live, you just talking for fun. So stop mentioning my name, stay up in your lane. We are not the same, you ain't built for the game. Hey, you just chasing clout, we just chasing change. So stop mentioning my name, stay up in your lane. I see them online, always typing, never real, trying to get a piece of what they never gonna feel. I ain't got the time, I ain't got the chill for the ones who only talk but never keep it real. Wanting all the fam, loyalty in my veins. You just wanna ride, but you can't handle the pain. We built from the struggle, you just built for the fame. So why you keep on talking, always mentioning my name? So stop mentioning my name, stay up in your lane. We are not the same, you ain't built for the game. Yeah, you just chasing clout, we just chasing change. So stop mentioning my name, stay up in your lane. Keep my name out your mouth, that's the code. I ain't not forever, we stay on our roll. You do you, I do me, that's how it goes. Stay up in your lane, that's the only way to grow.
Yo,
Yeah, brother.
yeah, man. So you wanna give a quick description about what's going on right now, what we finna do for the
Yeah,
people?
man. I gonna lay something out there, you heard me? So pretty much this documentary that we finna present to y'all right now is mostly things that done went on in Baton Rouge, in the streets of Baton Rouge for like the past 3.5 years ago, maybe. Like, I don't know if a lot of people are too hip to what be going on in Baton Rouge, but the past 3.5 years, like I stated, has been like the most bloodiest for real down here. So Trap Lord Ross had ended up putting together a video mainly based on YoungBoy and a few people that he done had problems with in the past. And I don't think dude will be too, you know, excited running across this shit, cause, without saying a lot, like half of this shit is, like, yeah, you feel me? So yeah, brother.
All right, man. So we'll go ahead and get started, man. Get the
Let's
people
get it.
some people will be here. They'll get here, man. By the way, for the people that's gonna see this video later, we are both two Baton Rouge natives.
So keep that in mind.
All right, just 1 second. I'm skimming through. So I know which. They show the pow in one segment. See.
I think I know what you're talking about. It might be that one where they get to that little dude gyring,
Yeah, I'm trying to.
the one who go be like kind of propped down holding that big ass rifle.
Yeah, that's most definitely the one I remember the name. Cause he playing music right there. All
2019
right.
to shockingly claiming at least 3 times to have a total of 7 bodies by 2020. His kill count would appear to rise to 12 plus a child by 2022. By March 2024, he was claiming to be responsible for 15 murders, and apparently he would reach a grand total of 19 bodies by June 2024.
Baton Rouge police are looking into a deadly shooting that claimed the life of a local rapper.
Pause it 1 second,
Unknown
brother.
suspect.
And just as much as you could be mad at a motherfucker for making a documentary about you having them in the baddest, sometimes that's why we gotta stop putting shit in certain songs. Let's just say you don't have that many baddies, but you got a song saying, me and my clique 15 baddies up. That opened the floodgates for motherfuckers to insinuate that you did this and you did that. So take
Nah,
that
for
into
real.
consideration a lot too. All you niggas who be making that music, saying this and that. But that's what I had to say, brother.
In a red Chevy Trailblazer.
She wasn't quick enough.
The shooting death of a local rapper.
Baton Rouge police say the local rapper was shot and killed at his home at Lakeside Villa Apartments on Wellwood Drive after midnight.
The deadly shooting of a student walking home from school.
New details surrounding a violent crime that happened here around 7:15 Saturday night.
Well, police are trying to get to the bottom of a drive-by shooting in Baton Rouge.
Police say someone shot Jason Nixon several times.
Hey, look, hanging out the one that's trying to flood them on the interstate.
Today, Baton Rouge police named the 2 people killed on River Road last night.
2 people were killed and 2 others were sent to a hospital.
We now know the name of the person killed in a shooting in Baton Rouge.
Police say 24-year-old Deontay Veal was shot and killed.
Investigators say 23-year-old Tremaine Phillips died.
Breaking tonight, 1 person dead after a shooting on Sherwood Common Boulevard.
Person shot and killed along North Acadian. 30-year-old Jawan Alisi was shot to death.
No, that ain't my work, man.
They are looking for information on the shooting death of this man here.
And this isn't some huge secret. In fact, I discussed in my previous video, YoungBoy, Real Killer or Fake Gangster, which I made a couple years ago when his body count was still at 12. But the truth is, YoungBoy isn't the person pulling the triggers and committing these murders personally. He openly raps about contracting killers over 7 times, never even seeing the face of the people doing the hits, although his 2016 double attempted murder charges would prove that he's clearly capable of pulling the trigger if it came to it. In efforts to prevent him bailing out on his prior charges, the FBI have openly labeled YoungBoy as the known leader of a violent Louisiana gang. And the truth is, he is literally surrounded by...
Just right quick, man. Baton Rouge, we never had a gang problem. Like we represent our neighborhoods where we come from, but we never had a gang problem up until it was probably the last 7-8 years, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what alleged gangs that such as the Bleeders, the Vultures, TBG, 300, 4K Trey. So they labeling them gangs now. But it's never been a problem in Baton Rouge. And to one point, what he was just saying, like these last few years, they've been so bloody because now you got people building alliances from, like, I would just say, like, weird places, because it's like 300 and Glen Oaks. And other places. It's like my neighborhood, we always been closely associated with South Baton Rouge.
Yep.
So when I found out, like, well, hold up, how they end up beefing with them, like, that's... But that's just to his point about the last few years. It been bloody.
Like, I'm talking about extremely, you feel me?
by shooters at all times, with a number of the most notorious shooters in the South being affiliated with his NBA or Never Broke Again record label and his alleged 4K Trey street gang and their allies state to state, meaning that wherever YoungBoy goes, he's accompanied by countless crash outs who are ready and willing to shoot and catch bodies to protect YoungBoy and his multi-million-dollar interests. So in this...
Hey, bro, he said countless crash outs. That shit is funny.
Countless crash outs drove me when I first heard this shit. That shit drove me. I say, that nigga, wow.
He said countless crash. I mean, it is what it is, though. What I just said, though.
Countless crash outs.
My bad, sir.
Video, I'll answer once and for all, are all of these murders and murderers the secret ingredient to YoungBoy's gangster rap empire? Does YoungBoy really need shooters around him at all times to make sure he stays alive and that his rivals die early? Or is he destined to meet the same fate as his biggest rival, Lil Durk, and eventually going to get taken down by the feds, who might well still be at this very second working tirelessly to solve these murders while he's reaching the peak of his career? Well,
I want to ask you a question, man.
What up, bro?
He just said his biggest rival, Lil Durk. What you think he mean by that?
I'm thinking he mean that all behind the King Von situation. And that's damn near like the second biggest hip hop beef known to the public since we had that Biggie and Pac shit. Now how you got that Lil Durk and YoungBoy shit. So I'm assuming that's what he mean by that.
All right, but there is bloodshed there because of Von.
You could say because of Von. Yep.
In this video, I have all of the answers, as I'll reveal one by one the gruesome truth behind each and every one of YoungBoy's alleged 19 murder victims, which have never before been identified publicly until now.
Parents of children who play Roblox. If your child was sexually exploited, abused...
But before we go any further, I just want to warn you, this video contains themes of death, murder, and violence. If you're...
Pay attention, Traveler got on a bandana with the checker dog.
Man, you see that shit? You see that shit, bro?
So he most definitely getting his troll on a little bit.
He definitely get his troll on. He ain't got that bitch on Chucky.
Right.
Chucky wearing this shit like Juvenile.
Throw up a soldier rag.
Throw up your soldier rag. Throw up your soldier rag.
or uncomfortable with any of these tragic themes, you might want to choose another video. I'm going to break down each one of the suspected 19 murders that YoungBoy claims that he organized, the tragic story behind it, and also the social media rumors regarding exactly which NBA members people think pulled the trigger. Much of the information in this video is based on public rumors, and I can't 100% vouch for the authenticity of the theories that have been circulated online by third parties. This video has been created for documentary and journalistic purposes to raise awareness about a story in the public interest regarding a well-known public figure. All clips included in this video are included under the doctrine of fair use for analysis, critique, and news reporting, and I've ensured that this video has been heavily censored in order to comply with YouTube's community and advertiser guidelines. But if you want an uncut and extended version of this video, you can go to patreon.com/fatballross, where I upload all of my select documentaries completely uncut. But if you're okay with all of that, then just keep watching and get ready to hear the single most insane story in gangster rap that you will ever hear. Years before the sold-out stadiums, the 40 billion streams, and the countless Reddit posts speculating on how many murders YoungBoy was responsible for, he was just a troubled southern kid from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. His real name is Kentrell Deshaun Goulden, and he was born in 1999 in Baton Rouge, where he grew up in the city's north side around 38th Street and Chippewa. Suffering a turbulent childhood, overshadowed by violence and tragedy, in part due to his father getting a 55-year sentence for armed robbery and attempted murder, and the death of his beloved grandmother who raised him, this all led to YoungBoy being sent to a group home where he would suffer severe abuse and bullying, before he would eventually start a life of crime of his own during his teenage years, doing home invasions and robberies that would eventually land him in juvenile detention. It was during this time that YoungBoy finally found his purpose through writing rhymes, and upon his release, he began recording low-quality songs at home with his friend and roommate OG33 using a cheap microphone from Walmart. It didn't take him long to pick up a buzz in the Baton Rouge street rap scene, and he soon aligned himself with a local rap label and borderline gang known as Top Boy Gorilla, or TBG, led by rappers G Money and Fredo Bang. Unfortunately, one of the first people to give YoungBoy a leg up in his career would wind up being the first of many people that would be murdered to protect that career. YoungBoy would eventually release his first mixtape, Life Before Fame, under the TBG label in 2015, but soon, issues like jealousy, disputes over money, and street beefs seemed to cause a falling out between YoungBoy and TBG, and in the aftermath, he and his close friend OG33 branched off and started their own movement that would eventually be worth hundreds of millions of dollars. I'm of course talking about NBA, aka Never Broke Again, which became both a rap label and a tight-knit crew of YoungBoy's closest friends, as well as his most prolific shooters and killers. This included infamous figures like Ben 10, Big B, Herm, Montana, Michi Baby, KD, Lil Pap, and Baba, just to...
Hey, you remember the other day I was watching this video, I was like, bro, it even, like the way he even put it together, it looked like, you know how when the
like
police
a
doing
feed board.
yeah, when they doing the investigation, they got the honcho at the top, then everybody else under.
Bruh, like notice, like deeper into the video, when he be lining up who hit up who, he go have all the suspected hitters tied to that M. He go have all the suspected hitters tied to each body. Like that shit baffled me. I went back and paid attention to that shit after you said that, and I was like, that shit definitely looked like a goddamn Fed board lineup. Like, like he got his information literally from the police. And it's almost like they let him throw out the bait
Yeah, it's like
and say they could gather it from his video to fuck with him.
To shed some light on the situation.
Mm-hmm.
And it, to be honest with you, it's not really far fetched that they would do that. I most definitely can see the cities and the sheriffs doing this.
I'm
But
telling you,
actually, I
bro.
remember who was that the chief of the city cops, or was that Sid Gotru who spoke on the whole situation and said, man, all these unalivings ain't going unnoticed, and like y'all will be held accountable.
Yep. Yeah, I think it was the chief of police had said this shit. Like he basically
Your mic cut out, bro. No, your mic cut out. And And this was after just until it broke get his his audio together. If y'all remember a few years back, they did like a Christmas drive for toys or whatnot, TVG and NBA, and they gave back to the community. Now it was something nice to do, but we know it was just to try to take some attention off all the heat they had going on, and throw a wrench in the investigation. But even after that, yeah, it was the chief of the city police. They said that, like, man, all these unalivers, they most definitely not going unnoticed. And like, y'all will be held accountable. And then it's funny that Trap Lord Ross put this documentary out because we recently just got a new mayor, and the new chief, he came in swinging. Like, he ain't playing no games. He arrested most of the vultures, most of the bleeders. BBG been they didn't fell back. They ain't really got too much going on. Same with TBG. But 300, which is my neighborhood, like, a lot of they hunchos in jail. So like the new chief ain't playing no games. Hold on, let me drop this link. I'm waiting on that brother to pop back out. Give me 1 second, y'all. But it's a good video, and we're gonna give y'all some insight. Being right here from the city, you feel me? And that's why we saying, like, man, who is Trap Lord Ross talking to in the city? Because of course, you could get certain information from what they already got on the board from the investigation, but it's some things he's saying here like, damn, man, who you know in Baton Rouge? Like, as Mon said a few months ago, man, it's a lot of miscellaneous, and nobody's miscellaneous, but he just said that in reference to, like, people that's not known outside of Baton Rouge, like the young boys and the Fredos, and you know what I'm saying? Like, he even brought them up, like, let BBG Iraq. Like, I know him as a kid. Same with Boulevard Creek. We used to call him that Austin, and then just out the blue, bam, Boulevard Creek. They stayed in my neighborhood. That's why I was like earlier, all this bloodshed going on because you got people choosing sides, and it's like Gaudier Lane and South Baton Rouge. We always had a relationship. Like, they always come stay in our neighborhood, and we stayed in their neighborhood. It's like that even in the parish, you know what I mean? If I fall on the line in South Baton Rouge, but like, shit, I'm at home. And the same way for, one of them. So man, give that bro a minute. Yeah, he gonna pop right back out. We getting this audio together. But Loud Pack, man, I saw the I'm gonna actually I'm gonna download that to StreamYard and show the people. There you go, right there. Yo.
Yeah, my bad, brother. My shit fucked up.
You good? Let's get back to it.
Mention a few. Moreover, in countless lyrics, YoungBoy and other NBA members would claim allegiance to a gang known as 4KT or 4K Trey, which appears to be a larger street alliance in Baton Rouge, and possibly also in other cities that YoungBoy and his friends would represent. There's been endless debate about the true underlying meaning of 4K Trey. Some have suggested it refers to those who kill for YoungBoy, or killing for Kentrell. Others have suggested that it actually referred to the beef with TBG from the south side of Baton Rouge who rep the 4, saying that they're 4K or 4 killers, and that they banged the 3 or the Trey, while others have suggested that it refers to 4 ever killing the Ops. But whatever the true meaning, the broader national alliance of this gang appears to be within the Bloods, more specifically the notorious East Coast originated Blood faction known as Money Murder or SMM, who are known for sometimes representing themselves with the bright green color instead of the traditional red, while also making use of other
I'm here, broski.
Yeah. So I don't. Well, I know they claim to be Bloods. Like, did they get a real put on,
See,
or
that's where he kind of lost me with. You feel me? See, I ain't too much hip to them supposedly portraying to be like having blood alliances. You feel me? I never heard that. I have heard of YoungBoy saying some blood shit from time to time, but I don't know about them supposedly getting put on. You feel me?
yeah, I don't. Yeah, that just sounds crazy to me.
Yeah, that shit that was foreign to me when I heard that.
Symbolism based on this color theme, like calling each other slime. But before NBA or 4K Trey would allegedly commit their first murder, they would suffer a tragic loss of their own, which led to one of the only incidents where YoungBoy himself had been confirmed to have personally been involved in a shooting. These events began unfolding when YoungBoy's cousin Boozilla, affiliated with a crew known as BBG, or Baton Boy Gorillas, was gunned down in November 2016. BBG was a direct rival to TBG, the label and gang that YoungBoy declined to sign to, who had since turned from YoungBoy's acquaintances to his main.
And say, y'all, look, if y'all pay attention to this stream, I mean, this to the screen, you see BBG over here on the left and TBG over here on the right.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, this is literally how South Baton Rouge will be broken down. This red line right here will be Washington Street. That's the only thing separate the top and the bottom.
Literally.
That's the border, Washington Street. When you up here in the top, you got Popeye Land, you got Fruit Town. Then you know the numbers 15, 16, 17. When you get over there in the bottom, then you got the states like Minnesota, Tennessee Street.
Tennessee Street, a famous street.
Yeah.
Rivals. In the aftermath of Boozilla's murder, YoungBoy would wind up catching a double attempted murder charge for a shooting incident where he and other known NBA members tried to avenge Boozilla's death. The following year, in 2017, YoungBoy would plead guilty to aggravated assault and ended up getting a suspended sentence in this case. Effectively, the judge had been very merciful and granted him a second chance at life in his career with strict conditions.
Yeah, that business.
Okay, so that case that Trap Lord Ross just presented right there, where he had tried to get back for Boozilla, that's where all that nigga troubles started to come in with the laws. That's what put that nigga hat on the map. Plus with that G shit, but that was the start of the laws really fucking with him. And that's some of the cases that he was dealing with for years and years. You feel me? But yeah, brother.
Soon after his release, he would hit the big leagues with his music, dropping the coveted AI YoungBoy mixtape, charting on Billboard, and signing a $2 million deal with Atlantic Records. But while YoungBoy's career was reaching new heights, his feud with TBG would intensify, and his former friend G Money would soon become his biggest rival. G Money would begin dissing YoungBoy with dedicated tracks like WNBA Smoke, where he appears to threaten to send his shooters at YoungBoy and the NBA crew, rapping that if you take it there with him, you're not going to make it back. YoungBoy would fire back in songs such as Ride On 'Em, with chilling lyrics claiming that the only way the beef would end was with G Money getting shot, and even hinting that he'd put a bag on his head. Now, before we go any further, I just want to make one thing clear. You can hate on YoungBoy all you want, and you can call me the feds, but this is a dangerous man who warns his enemies and tells them exactly what's going to happen to them. G Money was warned what would happen in 2017 if he kept playing with YoungBoy, but he didn't take these warnings seriously, and he wound up being the first of many who unfortunately found out the hard way that nothing can get in the way of the NBA empire. The conflict kept escalating throughout 2017 as both sides would go back and forth on social media.
Yeah, that like my little partner. He used to be like my little brother. He stayed with me and everything. Everything was still all good until he started, you know what I'm saying, like doing his own thing, getting him a little buzz, getting a little money. He just got the big. He met about his sister too, though. About his sister? Yeah, I had a long time ago.
She don't like me or something. I'm about to leave. What it is? I don't like you. I'm gonna keep on it. I don't like you. Talking about you don't like him. This and that. You ain't no for you to like.
So, Marlon, let me ask you a question.
Yeah, bro.
Everybody around the city know how close G and YoungBoy was. Do you think that was like the straw that broke the camel back when he mentioned YB's sister?
Yup. Josed him in that Say Cheese interview. That Say Cheese interview what really drove him, you hear me? because if you really paid attention, yeah, them niggas was saying a lot of shit. But G would never threatening to smash dude or no shit like that. You hear me? He'll pop his shit and say this and that from time to time. But I feel like them niggas wasn't using no words to really just take it all the way there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah. So I feel like it was definitely that motherfucking say cheese interview. Definitely that.
G Money wanted all the smoke, and his next move would be a fatal escalation. On August the 27th, 2017, G Money dropped his notorious song Industry, another dedicated diss track aimed at YoungBoy and NBA. But this time, G Money would get way more personal, mentioning people close to YoungBoy like his late cousin Boozilla and his mother Sharonda, as well as his sister, this time in a way that made sure that the relationship between these two former friends would never be repaired. But perhaps most interestingly, G Money also revealed that some
Okay, so that bar that G Money stayed at had me looking for your cousin. He wanted to unalive you. Boozilla and YoungBoy was at odds at that point in time before Boozilla got unalived. You feel me? But Boozilla and YoungBoy was beefing behind some shit. I think it was nigga had took something from a nigga or some shit like that, and so Boozilla wanted to do YoungBoy in, but at the time around the time of his death, they ended up making amends and they got back straight. But you feel me? That's what G Money meant by had me looking for your cousin. He wanted to unalive you. He was talking about Boozilla. Chill, brother.
had allegedly put $100,000 on his head, with Redditors later spreading rumors that YoungBoy's notorious manager Big Dump was actually the very person behind this $100,000 bounty. Famously, the video also prominently featured a Chucky doll, which was apparently a reference to an earlier YoungBoy video called What I Was Taught from September 2016, where the same doll could be seen. And this cursed doll would continue to pop up in spooky ways on both sides of this beef for years to come. From here, G Money kept taking shots at YoungBoy and the NBA crew whenever he could.
You got the motherfucker in your lap.
When you do this and do that and do that, you ain't sticking with it.
What you said, bro?
He talking about a cursed Chucky doll, and he got a motherfucking Chucky doll in his lap.
But hey, come to think about it, who started? Because the first I seen Fredo and Quicknam with the Chucky doll first.
That's what I seen with the Chucky dolls. You hear me? Yep, that's definitely what I seen with the Chucky dolls.
So you, I ain't tripping on no dissing on none of that. You heard me? You, your mama, your brother, your cousin, your auntie, your uncle, whoever. Way throwback. You heard me? Made you script and you didn't do nothing about it. So how you think you? That's
Shit, I forgot about this video. Well, he maybe did say a lot of crash out shit.
As he can be.
Now look, was this before or after the
I think that's the day he got bust up. This video
like
right here.
It looked
he's
like
standing right in front of that studio with that same red shirt. I think that's how they end up getting low. Then another thing, pay attention though. Do you think nigga line G up? Just listen.
Seen standing outside a building while claiming that YoungBoy suddenly turned into a supposed killer after getting his record deal.
Say, Lil, you know you ain't living like that, man. You get a deal and you done turn to a killer. When you start doing all that, man, you know you ain't cutting like that, man. You know TBG bend your muscle.
Yeah, it most definitely back there on Dallas Street. That's exactly what that's it.
That's at that yo.
Yeah.
Boy, and the same you talking about usually don't live in jail wherever they at, man. That's the same ran you out of Nouveau in the city, man. Yeah, you remember Will? Yeah, Will's out there. And you remember you ran out that store, man. You know what's happening with us, man. You hear me? Real. And I'm living out shit, you hear me? Everything you got with a deal, I got without a deal, man. You hear me? You know, 30 plus on my neck with no deal. Yeah, for real. Driving in $100,000 coupes, man. Yeah, with no deal, boy. You better stop playing and stay in your place, son.
People familiar with the city of Baton Rouge could likely recognize easily that he was standing in front of a local recording studio on the 1900 block of Dallas Drive, where TBG were known to record at. The very same studio was also featured prominently in the music video for G Money and Boulevard Quick's track, Set Trippin'. Unfortunately for G Money, he massively underestimated two things. He underestimated how easy he was to find in the city, and he hugely underestimated YoungBoy and the NBA crew's willingness to kill to protect their...
Hey, I gotta stop you right there, Trap Lord. G wasn't hiding, bro.
G definitely wasn't hiding.
Yeah, G wasn't hiding, bro. G, like he said, bro. G already
Yeah,
had that
yeah,
rap star
fresh.
image.
Facts fresh.
Like G Money already had that whole rap star image, bro. Dude been flipping through the city and drop coops. You see, he got the G wagon right there.
G
Like,
Wagon. And
yeah,
he was
never
in
been
that bitch
doing this shit
every day.
every
He was
day.
in that
Like
bitch
for real,
every
for
day.
real. Man, that bitch had that drop out the white one.
That's how they got him so easily. That
Yeah,
candy red motherfucking uh G Wagon.
yeah,
Stay you gonna know what G at. You gonna know that's G Money.
yeah. G most definitely wasn't hiding the ducking no wreck though.
budding empire. In the early morning
Fresh,
hours of
what up,
September
brother?
the 10th, 2017, G Money was at that very same studio, seemingly recording another diss track aimed at YoungBoy, where he called the people's favorite rapper a liar. This would unfortunately end up being his last recording, as around 1:30 a.m., G Money would step outside the studio building and take his last breath before he was ambushed and shot dead.
Baton Rouge police are looking into a deadly shooting that claimed the life of a local rapper. Police say someone shot and killed 22-year-old Garrett Burton on Dallas Street around 1:20 last night. Burton performed under the name.
And look, that's Big Wayne's studio, ain't it?
What's that Big Wayne shit?
Cause I remember when that shit happened with G Man, Big Wayne had came out, Big Wayne had popped out on some, bro. I ain't had nothing to do with that shit, but y'all stop saying that shit.
Right. He did come out with some shit. What's that fresh big brother? Getting on some of that good Baton Rouge content. You hear me?
Remember that shit? Big Wayne had popped out on Facebook and Insta like, bro, yeah, man, I ain't got nothing to do with that shit, bro. I make music with everybody.
Big
I
Wayne
ain't got
did
nothing
make
to
him.
do with they
Yeah.
beef.
Big Wayne did have something to say on it.
G Money.
An alleged picture of the shooter at the scene would later circulate on Reddit. G Money's good friend Fat Chapo, who was with him at the studio the night of the murder,
Okay,
would later
listen,
describe
brother.
the evening's dark events in a later interview.
Just listen at what he's saying and tell me what you get out of this.
Who? Trap Lord or
The
dude
Chapo
right
nigga
here.
right there.
All right.
I was the first out the door. G walked out that door by himself. I told him before he walked out the door, like, and when I went to go get the slippers, he walked out the door on his own. And they start shooting. When they start shooting, I really didn't know what was going on because I heard a boom, but when as soon as the shooting stopped, I ran out the door. Nobody was I still never saw nobody. It was more like, you know what I'm saying, it f***ed me up instantly.
But just as chilling as the murder itself were the haunting details that came out after.
I mean, I think he know more than what he's saying. It sounds like he ain't trying to say too much on
He ain't trying to say too much.
yeah.
What getting a nigga is what was you telling G? Like, what you mean? I went out there to go get the slippers and I told him, like, then he kind of broke off into another story. Like, granted, I get it. It's an interview. You can't, but it was highly circulated, like in rumor. That's why Fredo had, I'm thinking this the nigga Fredo had fell out with, but Fredo was saying that, a nigga had their hand in that shit. And some supposedly, nigga won't know why, G had a nigga right there and the nigga ain't get off behind him. You feel me? So, yeah, Fredo actually had bumped heads with a nigga who was there, if I ain't mistaken.
Afterwards. The day after G Money was killed, someone would go to the studio to document the murder scene, where they ended up capturing footage where bloody pillows could be seen laying on the ground. A picture of this pillow would also be posted on social media, where it would eventually go down in infamy as one of the most terrifying pieces of folklore about the Baton Rouge streets. This
Fresh. All right, but so why would Big Wayne pop out saying he ain't had nothing to do with that shit? 'Cause he most definitely did that shit. Like they were saying, Big Wayne gave a drop or some shit.
You feel me? Like 9 times out of 10, Big Wayne probably was leasing that building through a nigga. Cause I see he say that's Greg Duke shit. Big. I mean, he probably was renting that bitch through dude. But I do remember Big Wayne coming out there like, where that ain't, you feel me? Like, I do good business, you hear me? I don't fuck around like that.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming Big Wayne they haven't had nothing to do with that, cause Big Wayne ass would have been good and out of here if them niggas felt Big Wayne was playing like that.
Nah, for real.
Haunting image would start a wild rumor that G Money's killers had actually thrown a pillow and told him to go to sleep after shooting him dead. It's unclear
False.
exactly who started this dark rumor, but it had a powerful effect on the Baton Rouge streets.
You want to speak on that?
Yeah, that shit there. When I heard that shit was a stretch. Nigga ain't walk up and toss no pillow at that man and told him go to sleep before opening fire. They put G Money head on a pillow like to prop his head up. G Money got hit in the head. You feel me? And they put his head on a pillow out that studio. So I guess they have him comfortable and shit until the people got there. But nigga ain't throw no damn pillow at that man.
Yeah, that shit does sound crazy.
Word of the bloody pillow would spread all around Louisiana. The YoungBoy and the NBA crew would become notorious not just as shooters, but like action movie mobsters who left props at the scene of murders to send others a message. While the truth behind these pillows turned out to be nothing as cold and calculated as people on Reddit might have you believe, even this make-believe story would survive in infamy for years, and it made the NBA gang out to be like boogeymen in Baton Rouge. But the truth is, the pillows had most likely been used by medics who came to the scene to help G Money after the shooting. But it seems that YoungBoy and his team would take full advantage of this online folklore. And YoungBoy would later rap several lyrics where he referenced pillows in relation to murders, like in the 2020 song Step On, where he rapped that he would lay his ops' beds and throw them a pillow, and in the 2023 song Let's Do It, where he described his gang creeping up and laying their ops' head on a pillow when they kill them. In the music video for this song, YoungBoy even gets down and lays his head onto an actual pillow. The bloody pillow was a terrifying symbol of how far NBA members would take it if you got in their way. And as time went on, from this first murder, YoungBoy would continue to reference G Money, leaving cryptic warnings for anyone else who might gamble with their lives playing with the NBA. A new song titled Poor One would release about a month after G Money's murder and appeared to be explicitly dedicated to him, with YoungBoy starting his first verse, recalling a time when their bond felt more like a brotherhood before G Money shattered YoungBoy's trust by sleeping with his sister and bragging about it online. This was the first time one of NBA's rivals suffered deadly consequences in the streets after playing with YoungBoy.
The P game though. Can you really be that mad at a nigga for popping? You know what I'm saying? Your sister is like, God damn. Now I get it, but
Yeah, that's kind of like it's kind of like damn, like you feel me? I ain't just finna say I walk a nigga ass down by. Granted, yeah, young nigga pride probably hurt through the internet and all that shit. Nigga got on Say Cheese and said that, but I'm with you on that one, brother. Like, bitch, you gotta like do me something. You feel me? For
it's
me to
like
really
shit.
jump out there and punish your ass behind it.
Yeah, for real.
I want to
It's
get
like,
you punished behind it. You feel me?
yeah, so it most definitely got to be more to that situation. I don't think a nigga could just go take it straight there. Like, bitch, you gotta go, nigga. You pop my sister, yeah, bitch, you gotta go.
You feel me?
He was not shy about reminiscing and talking openly about the person who had lost their life. Yet despite this being an open secret in the Baton Rouge streets, the authorities to this very day have struggled to truly get to the bottom of this case. It would take close to 2 years before they finally named any suspects in G Money's murder, but finally in June 2019, DeAndre Fields, better known on the streets as Lil Pap or NBA Pap, will be charged with second-degree murder in connection to G Money's death.
DeAndre Fields, Baton Rouge police say they arrested him years after the shooting death of a local rapper, Garrett Burton. Back in 2017, Burton went by the name of G Money.
In his early music, YoungBoy had painted a picture of Pap as being one of his main shooters, and now here he was, accused of shooting YoungBoy's biggest rival dead. Lil Pap initially pled not guilty, and years later he would accept a plea deal on greatly reduced charges of accessory after the fact to murder, receiving a mere 5-year sentence. But interestingly, Pap would still swear to the judge and people close to him that he was innocent, and this sentiment was shared amongst G Money's close friends like TBG rapper Fredo Bang, who would also later claim several times publicly that Pap indeed wasn't G Money's killer.
Y'all started sending me that. Still sending it to me. I'm like, you seen it? You seen it? Yeah, I seen it. Always make arrests. Might be wrong. A man that do that.
Do you know the guy that's being charged? Okay. You said that you didn't think the guy that they're charging with the murder actually did it.
YoungBoy's lyrics on the leaked song, Keeping It True.
So if he got accessory after the fact, that means he was with the shooters. Or unless he
got caught with the pole. They say they found that bitch in a refrigerator in a house or some shit. He stuffed that bitch in a refrigerator. So that's why he got the 5 for just having the M weapon. But that's still like, god damn, nigga, 5 for the murder weapon? Like, shit, he came out good. I don't know many niggas, you feel me, make it out that shit like that.
And you affiliated with the
And you affiliated with the opposing side?
Yeah,
Man.
that's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy right there. Unless Baton Rouge just want to get that one right. Gotta be.
You feel me? You feel me?
Seemed to echo this same sentiment, with him rapping how after an op died in the night, his brother kept it solid and didn't tell, even though he wasn't the shooter. Even G Money's own mother would post on social media after Pap's guilty plea that she also believed that he wasn't the actual killer of her son, leaving this first murder connected to YoungBoy and his squad of killers still shrouded in mystery, not only robbing G Money's family of justice, but also meaning that whichever NBA soldier who did kill G Money might still be walking the streets and stages behind YoungBoy to this day, being ready to kill again. There's of course been various rumors as to exactly what went down that night and who was responsible. G Money's mother would make a post on Instagram showing a picture of 3 prominent NBA members, BBG Fredo, Ben 10, and Baby Joe, saying these were the 3 people that the police said killed her son. Other rumors would circulate, particularly on Reddit, where many have claimed that Pap indeed was not responsible, but was only connected to the case due to being caught with the gun that was used in the hit, while some denied this. Some spread false rumors that YoungBoy might have killed G Money personally, but he apparently had the perfect alibi, playing a show in New York City at the Gramercy Theater that very night. Other NBA members would be caught on live with Quando Rondo in 2018, including OG3, Ben 10, and off-screen, Baba Osama, who is heard saying that they're smoking on G Money before a frustrated OG3 ends the live abruptly. One far-fetched rumor circulating.
You see, I don't keep it real with you. 3, I think 3, like I don't know what, you know, if 3 out here living like that or whatever the case may be. Not from what Quick said, he ain't.
Yeah, the pair situation.
Yeah, but 3, like, man, come on, bro.
3 one of them. You feel me? Like, yeah, you know, he ain't no real like OG down here, especially of course, but 3 got the mannerisms of an OG. Like every time that nigga get in smoke, 3 always the nigga who could try to put a head to the shit and, you know, be on some let's get to this. I ain't no telling what he putting in motion behind the scenes, but you feel me? But he for sure, that's like they sent him front line. They sent that nigga front line for the Christmas giveaway. He ain't have to do that shit.
Hell no.
I actually think he was stupid for doing it.
Cause
You feel me?
It's almost like, you know how I take, you know, look at that shit like 3 strike me as the nigga like, man, we getting to some money, bro. Like, where we going, bro?
Fuck that other shit.
Y'all missing with the other shit, man.
on Reddit suggested that NBA Herm and Baby Joe were actually the shooters and that it was Ben 10 who threw the pillow and told him to go to sleep. Herm's name has been put forward by some on social media due to very suspect posts made by YoungBoy over the years, as well as the fact that he appeared right next to YoungBoy when he laid his head on the pillow in the music video for Bitch Let's Do It, as well as being on the original live that teased the song, with people commenting how crazy it was to rap these lyrics stood right next to the killer. Some believe that YoungBoy actually confirmed that Herm was responsible on social media during a feud with the rapper No Cap, where No Cap had apparently claimed that everyone in Baton Rouge was trying to claim the G Money murder, with YoungBoy responding that you must not know about the Black Sheep, referring to Herm's nickname, while others adamantly believe that actually it was Ben 10 who was truly responsible for the hit, which makes the fact that he was caught liking the IG posts of the mother of G Money's child all the more chilling. But even as the mystery continues, so does the disrespect, as G Money's grave has been vandalized numerous times, and G Money's mother still has no justice, as she heartbreakingly has posted him on her Instagram page every day for years. But sadly, she would only be the first of over a dozen mothers who would mourn the loss of their children. And the sad truth is that while G Money had been a direct threat to the budding Never Broke Again empire, some of those who lost their lives appear to have simply been in the wrong place at the wrong time. The next body is one of the most debated when it comes to the alleged.
Oh, Snow, I didn't know you had popped out, but this is a closed panel right here, G. This Mon show, G.
See that big
murders that YoungBoy has been connected to. On October the 26th, 2017, 19-year-old Ernisha Barnes was sitting in a parked car outside of a deli when she became caught in an altercation that would escalate into gunfire. Shots were fired from another vehicle, striking her multiple times, and she would later die from her injuries at the hospital.
We also have now learned the identity and the name of that 19-year-old woman. Police tell us that it was about 10:15 last night when an unknown suspect in a red Chevy Trailblazer fired several shots into a car with 19-year-old Ernisha Barnes sitting in the passenger seat. It happened near Gus Young and 48th Street. We're told that Barnes was actually taken to a local hospital where she later died.
YoungBoy's fans would later draw connections between several of his lyrics and Ernisha Barnes' death, most notably a leaked track titled Money Man, which featured YoungBoy describing a shooting where someone targeted a man named Hammer, but instead ended up striking his girlfriend. Allegedly, this was in retaliation for someone called Monkey shooting up YoungBoy's grandmother's home. According to Reddit rumors, these lyrics reference YoungBoy's beef with a gang known as TMH, or Too Many Hitters, and particularly two of their main members, named Hammer and Monkey, the latter being better known as the rapper TMH 32 Shots, who's also been affiliated with YoungBoy's main rivals, the TBG crew. Ernisha, or simply Nisha as she was known, was allegedly Hammer's girlfriend, who had then supposedly gotten shot by YoungBoy or someone close to him as a revenge for Monkey first shooting up YoungBoy's grandmother's house, with Ernisha actually getting the nickname Hammer Girl on Reddit, where many posts have been made demanding justice for her. However, Monkey would deny having ever shot YoungBoy's grandmother's house years later in his song FAN. In another leaked song, YoungBoy would even seemingly mention Ernisha by name, using her nickname Nisha while rapping how she had a baby but got killed in front of a corner store. While in yet another leaked song, he seemingly implied trying to kill his enemy but ending up killing his girlfriend before calling himself the Murder Man. YoungBoy continued to reference that same theme of accidentally shooting someone's girl for years to come. He would rap chilling lyrics on the 2023 song I Heard that someone got swerved on with their girl, she got hit, and he heard her take her last breaths. But despite fan theories that YoungBoy, or at least someone close to him, was responsible for this tragic murder, in actuality, already in October 2017, 2 people had been arrested in relation to the incident.
All right, hold up.
My brother checked him offline. My real deal big brother checked him offline. I don't know if he was behind that shit, but yeah, my brother checked him out that bitch. Diana Spencer.
Dude right here?
Shit, yeah. Like sent him to the shop. Got him off that bitch. I'm listening, though, brother.
Yeah, so all right. The dude Monkey, where he from?
Monkey is from Banks, but Monkey is actually TMH Bleeder. He a bleeder. He TMH and Bleeder. Coco and True Bleeder is his cousins. You hear me? But he's from Banks. Like, all them niggas used to hang together and shit. But it was some lit shit happened with. Matter of fact, I got pictures with Lil Monkey. You hear me? Some shit happened with him and YB where he ended up hitting up his grandma's house and shit. And so that's how the smoke started with YB, Hammer, and Monkey. Like they was actually slanging fire at each other. But yeah, that little bitch there, he from Banks, but you know he TMA's bleeder gang.
The TMH, where they from?
TMA's really from all over. You got Joker, see Joker, he from Banks too. Shit, you got some little niggas from out Glen Oaks out TMH, and I want to say fuck, where the fuck Webb from? I forgot where Webb from. Everybody used to think Webb was from Glen Oaks, but Webb from somewhere else, you hear me? So them niggas really scattered.
Incident, 27-year-old Donnie Spencer, who was charged with first-degree murder for allegedly killing Ernisha in a drive-by shooting, and 30-year-old Ashley Taylor, who was charged with attempted second-degrey murder and illegal use of a weapon for apparently shooting at another woman in the same spot just minutes before the fatal shooting that killed Ernisha.
Scotty Hunter tonight,
brother.
the key thing that helped police make.
And let me tell y'all, all this shit all happened. This is this first section, you hear me? All this shit, this shit happened at the store that Ragusa's, that's first section. But yeah, brother.
A very quick arrest.
The man accused of carrying out this year's record-breaking murder in Baton Rouge, 27-year-old Donnie Spencer, is behind bars tonight. As he was loaded off to prison, he had nothing to say except one thing. Innocent. Spencer is charged with first-degree murder and attempted first-degree murder after allegedly gunning down 19-year-old mother Ernisha Barnes last Thursday in a drive-by shooting on Gus Young at 48. His information put out on Friday. Roughly 72 hours later, he was picked up today by the U.S. Marshals Task Force.
Although Spencer had first claimed to be innocent, he would eventually plead guilty to manslaughter in 2019, and he was sentenced to 22 years in prison. But even this wouldn't convince some fans, who would still keep claiming that Spencer had simply taken the charge for YoungBoy and believing his earlier claims of innocence as validating this theory. While this more far-fetched and far-removed murder seems highly unlikely to be truly connected to YoungBoy directly, the next murder would echo the hit on G Money, as another prominent TBG member with rumored bodies of his own against NBA would unfortunately go out the very same way. One person that played an instrumental role in NBA YoungBoy's early career was Big Dump, aka Desmond Hardnett. Big Dump had reportedly worked for YoungBoy as an agent or manager, and simply working for YoungBoy had undoubtedly made Big Dump a target in Baton Rouge, but later lyrics from YoungBoy.
Hey, Dump working for YoungBoy is crazy.
Madly crazy.
Yeah,
around
crazy.
the time Dump was out, well, you know, living, you hear me? Dump was all that nigga muscle. You hear me? Dump damn near. Dump had a M before anything due to a fucking truck accident. You hear me? That nigga had an M while YoungBoy was still down.
Yeah, I don't know, but hey, y'all doing Dump a disservice right here, bro.
Yeah, if you want to say working for Dump, if anything, nigga, his manager, you might want to say that.
Yeah. Dump working
Dump
for
was that
YoungBoy
motherfucking nigga though. Yeah.
is crazy.
Dump coming through in the range with rocks in his mouth here, but
Yeah, I just wanted to put that on the board right there. Dump working for YoungBoy is absolutely crazy.
Nuts.
Himself would reveal that there might have also been other reasons. For example, on the 2022 track Doctor, YoungBoy threatens to shoot up a car, just like Dump would do, something that he reiterates on the 2025 track 86 Prayers. These lyrics seem to imply that Dump wasn't just a businessman, but also somebody that had a reputation in the streets and had personally participated in shootings, making him a target on multiple fronts. Combine that with the rumors that he was the one who had put the bounty on G Money's head, and it's clear that TBG members would have wanted to take his life too. On May the 4th, 2018, at around 6 p.m, Baton Rouge police would respond to a drive-by style shooting on the 2200 block of Nairn Drive. According to news reports, Big Dump had been chatting with family and friends in his old neighborhood when someone pulled up in a vehicle and fired several shots, killing Dump and injuring the woman standing near him, while 5 or 6 witnesses watched on in shock.
Baton Rouge police say 29-year-old Desmond Hartnett died last night from his injuries. Police say Hartnett and a 32-year-old woman were both shot during a drive-by shooting yesterday afternoon. That happened near the corner of Narren and Baywell. We're told the woman's injuries are not expected to be life-threatening.
Unfortunately, like many of the murders in Louisiana, Dump's murder was never officially solved, although YoungBoy's main rivals, TBG, would heavily imply being behind the hit. Just 2 months after Big Dump's murder, 2 of TBG's biggest remaining rap stars, Fredo Bang and Boulevard Quick, would release a song called Body Bag, where Fredo opens up by rapping how they pull up on an op and dump the whole clip, before interestingly mentioning putting someone's friend in a grave because they had dropped some knots, which could indeed refer to the rumor that G Money had a $100,000 bounty on his head put up by Big Dump before the murder went down. And they would go on to brag how they had caught someone right outside the house, the exact circumstances of Dump's murder. Boulevard Quick would again go after YoungBoy and his camp a month later on his song called And One, opening up the track by telling his
Oh, my shit was muted. Yeah, so you heard him just say G had 100 on Dump head, huh?
I think go back. I think they had put 100 on G. They put a ticket on G, and so that's why he was wet up for dropping a bag on G.
Oh, all right. Okay. All right.
But I heard that too though. I have heard that Dump, put that on G.
Oh shit. Hold up.
ops to keep his friend's name out their mouth, likely meaning G Money, and telling them to go and dig their partner up, likely referring to Dump, while later rapping that he heard people are looking for him because someone lost his soul, before throwing a Dump ad-lib there for good measure, just to make it extra clear exactly who he was talking about. But Quick would also hilariously give himself an alibi, rapping how he went to the movies and then went to see a girl while Dump's murder was taking place. And in both music videos, once again, a Chucky doll could also be seen, which at this point had become a way for TBG rappers to cryptically troll YoungBoy ever since that G Money industry music video. And just like G Money, Boulevard Quick would also boast in several songs how he had heard around town that killers were looking for him, but he wasn't scared and still sliding, even ending his August 2018 music video for the song Never Lackin' by seemingly daring YoungBoy and his crew to try and catch him.
Yeah. That shot that nut in your mama. Pull up. Sit back. Come out here. You know, TBG Gorilla Gang. Long live G Money. I'ma talk my shit. I don't have to have money, because I ain't got that much. So I'm in the field. You can't be, money must be counterfeit. You drop the bag while I'm still breathing. I got breath in my body. Fake it. Or pull up.
But the last straw was when YoungBoy.
Yeah, we all familiar with Boulevard Quick. That one was really one of them.
Facts.
That one was really one of them. Now they used to call him that Austin when he stayed in Gardner Lane. Then he just popped up out of nowhere. Boulevard Quick. Like, oh, okay. And so let me ask you this. Is this implying that all this shit started behind YB's sister?
I wouldn't even necessarily just say his sister. I'll say all of it really just come on the strength of G getting hit. You feel me? Like, and just, well, I ain't gonna put it like that. All that really come from he shot up with that music shit, and that's when they was looking at him different when he got the popping his shit, when he got the bread. You feel me? So that shit just was a bonus. G throwing in that shit with his sister, but it was smoke before he came out saying that shit about his sister. Cause remember what G kept saying. It was plenty studio events and shit. It was plenty shit that we don't hear get talked about. Like them niggas running. Remember G was like, you ran out that store, woo to woo. So them niggas was having run-ins before all that shit leading up to. So matter of fact, that could answer the question. what we was asking earlier, would a nigga really crash out like that behind their sister like that? We got to keep in mind that it was events happened before that.
Prior
Niggas
to
catching
that.
niggas in the studio and probably hoeing a nigga, and you feel me?
Cause didn't Scotty Kane bat little when he was a little younger or some shit?
Shit made him cry in the studio. YB got a song about this shit.
But like, let me ask you this. Do we hold that against YB if he was like a real life a little nigga?
What'd you say?
I say, do we hold that against YB if like he was really like a how old was he at the time?
I want to say YB was like 15 in the studio with that nigga around this time.
Oh hell no. Yeah, you
Yeah,
gotta get it up there.
Dude was like 15 when he was fucking around with Scotty.
Yeah, you gotta get it up there.
Then put it in the song, saying tears falling on my face, still let you know it wasn't no hoe in me. Still talking about that situation with Scotty, and niggas say dude was still coming around that bitch. Like yeah, still coming around that bitch, you heard me?
His mother, Sharonda, would participate in this beef personally, causing Boulevard Quick to respond with a vulgar and unfiltered rant.
Fredo Bang and Quick wants to get YoungBoy. Fredo Bang and Boulevard Slow.
You look like a man, though. You look like a punk. Talking about me, I ain't Fredo. I speaks on everything. Boy, that mama. Play with me first.
This would cause YoungBoy himself to respond too. YB would
Them
warn
the
Quick
last
that this
famous
internet
words
beef
got
would
him
end with
back.
him having the last laugh, saying that his ops are going to either die, go broke, or go to jail.
This internet ain't for long. I hope y'all stupid mother know that. It's either you're gonna die, you're gonna be a bum, or you're gonna be successful, or you're gonna go to jail.
Then, on November the 26th, 2018, about 6 months after the murder of Big Dump, the Baton Rouge police would respond to Lakeside Villa Apartments just after 12:30 a.m. There, they would find 25-year-old Ashton Wells, aka Boulevard Quick, suffering from multiple gunshot wounds, and he would be pronounced dead at the scene soon after. Although the news reports would acknowledge that Boulevard Quick was already the second TBG rapper killed in recent years, the authorities had no suspect or motive. Interestingly, some people who followed a subreddit about Baton Rouge culture, not necessarily its gang culture, but the city at large, would even be aware of Boulevard Quick's disrespectful attitude and murderous tendencies, showing even that everyday people living in the city would too be celebrating his death. But Boulevard Quick's death was followed by numerous occasions of YoungBoy and his NBA 4K Trey affiliates dissing him and seemingly implying that they had been directly responsible for the murder. The day after Quick died, YoungBoy would appear on an IG Live while being in noticeably good spirits. He would rap lyrics from his upcoming track, My Mama Say, an interesting name for a song, given that his mother had just been exchanging words with Quick, rapping that people keep talking about touching him, but they're the ones who keep ending up dead. The full song would drop the following month on YoungBoy's new project titled Realer, which included numerous lyrics that seem to imply that YoungBoy has people killed and is planning to use his newfound rap game riches to pay his shooters to keep killing people for him. He would rap specifically how he smokes up with his hitmen while plotting the next murder, and that they tell him that all behind YoungBoy they will kill people and that he will guarantee their check if they wet their targets. He would rap about the...
All right, so I got a question.
What up?
Hearing this, like if they putting all this in the lyrics and shit, can we call Trap Law the police?
Nope. Not at all. Motherfuckers been doing this shit for years. That's why we have bloggers. That's why that's why you can make millions of dollars being a blogger, because these niggas keep putting shit in their music for niggas to talk about. You mean to tell me you could openly say that you smoking niggas and I can't have the right to react or quote on you stating that you just smoked a nigga? Who really the police? Technically, you told the motherfuckers first. Shit, you want your music to get heard. I'm finna get your shit heard.
Yeah, cool. He been reading lyrics since this fucking video started. And they been saying a lot of incriminating shit, bro.
I'm telling you.
Killers around him looking up to him and saying that he has bodies and that he hopes they don't catch up with him. In later songs, there would also be much more obvious references towards Boulevard Quick specifically, like the song Impact, where YoungBoy rapped how someone dissed his mother, so he ended up killing them. And famously on the song 1.5, where he raps that his mother had told him to leave Quick dead for speaking on her. Also, other NBA members would participate in the dissing, like NBA Big B, who in several songs dissed someone fat, who died, clearly referencing Quick, even including a cover art of himself literally smoking on Quick, while also rapping in the song that if there's money on someone's head, he promises to get the job done, strongly implying that he had something to do with Quick's death. Interestingly, this murder being November the 26th, 2018, about a week after fellow blood rapper 6ix9ine from...
You got a picture of you smoking a blunt with Boulevard Quick on front the blunt. Say. Yeah, come on, man.
Yeah, you can't make this shit up, man. Self-snitching is at an all-time high.
I'm telling you.
So I don't think people should be mad at Trap Lord Ross for basically just repeating what these niggas put in their music.
Right, exactly.
You gotta be smarter than this, man.
New York would end up getting indicted by federal prosecutors for his role as a shot caller in the 9 Trey Bloods. Funnily enough, many people on Reddit at the time would speculate that the feds would likely soon be looking into NBA YoungBoy 2, and speculating that there were 2 known murders and perhaps more unknown ones at this point in time. But despite the rumors and lyrics that seemed to tie the hit to infamous NBA member Big B, rumors would circulate on Reddit that the real killer was a lesser-known affiliate of NBA known as Duty Black, a friend of YoungBoy's who was also a rapper himself. Some have suggested that the two might have actually carried out the hit together. YouTuber 3J Knows the Truth would claim to have been told by those in the know that these were the hitters. And
remember, we were talking about like you could count all the known members that get wet up, but it's a lot of niggas behind the scenes be with these niggas that's really laying the footprints down. Like, you heard how he just explained that lesser known member and shit like that. Like, them dudes really gangsters, like putting shit up, but you never see them behind these niggas. You feel me? It's a lot of niggas with no names that got whacked behind this shit out here. But yeah, brother. And look at this nigga here, 3J.
Dude be speaking facts, but I don't know where the fuck he getting them from.
I've been telling niggas, bro. I've been telling niggas, bro. I don't know who the fuck be telling dudes shit, but 3J, say.
It's just hard to listen to him because he always sound like he crying.
Yeah, his voice is real aggravating.
Big B was the one who took the shot.
It was allegedly 2 people on the Boulevard Quick hit. Allegedly or whatever, it was Big B and Duty Black. Big B shot or whatever. Boulevard Quick was walking outside, and when he made it to the parking lot, that's when he seen Big B. Quick tried to run. Boulevard Quick tried to run back in the house, and they hit him or whatever. They hit him 2 times in the head. Big B and Duty Black killed Boulevard Quick. That's what somebody close to the situation DM me and told me. When Duty Black died, everybody started posting Boulevard Quick. When NBA Big B got shot, everybody started posting Boulevard Quick.
YoungBoy would post a picture on FaceTime with Duty Black, and it's rumored that this was only a short time before the murder of Quick. Unfortunately, Duty Black, real name Darian Carter, was gunned down in his car in North Foster Drive in Baton Rouge on June the 11th, 2021, and the police were unable to identify any suspects, with many believing that TBG member Fredo Bang posting a picture with Boulevard Quick right after the murder of Duty Black was confirmation that he was the one responsible. Rumors have since spread that this was a paid hit as retaliation for Boulevard Quick's murder. YoungBoy would pay tribute on the leaked 2021 song Northside Legend, calling Duty that very thing and saying RIP, and he even seemed to express
Duty Black?
Yeah, his shit wasn't nothing to do with Fredo. Nigga, the Baton Rouge know who got dude. That was some little niggas he had smoked with. You know, some niggas off that island.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. Hey, the jail stabbing. Remember?
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
Yup.
right.
That shit.
Morse over the retaliation that took Doodie's life on the song Letter to the North, where he raps about telling his mother to send $10,000 to Doodie's mother. Some on Reddit have suggested that there was never retaliation for Doodie Black's murder because he wasn't a true member of the NBA crew. But while YoungBoy later would use his music to express his pain and regret over the lives lost in the name of protecting the NBA empire, after these 3 murders, YoungBoy would begin rapping more and more with pride about his triple body count. At this point in time, YoungBoy had already become a well-established and prolific artist in the rap game who was known for his unmatched work ethic, devoted fan base, and his unique and versatile style, which ranged from emotional auto-tune ballads, which his fans described as pain songs, as well as incredibly aggressive anthems designed for sliding on your ops, which his fans would describe as murder songs. And it would be this latter subgenre of murder music where YoungBoy would begin to talk more about his infamous body counts. Some of the first songs that mentioned specific numbers were seemingly made around 2019, not long after YoungBoy's killers had allegedly caught their 3rd victim, Boulevard Quick. One of these being a song known as All in My Way, which was supposedly recorded sometime in 2019, although it would only be leaked in November 2021. In this song, YoungBoy would rap that he has 5 bodies under him, but you have to subtract 2, possibly referring to the 2 attempted murders that he got after his cousin Boozilla's death, or the 2 losses that his own side had suffered, Big Dump and Boozilla. In another song called Murder Man, which was reportedly first played by YoungBoy's ex-girlfriend during an IG Live on November the 18th, 2019, YoungBoy seems to imply that he has 3 bodies, and that someone who talks about him on Instagram is going to be the 4th, with this likely referring to King Von, who had just recently dissed YoungBoy in March of that same year, suggesting that he'd been lying in his music.
YoungBoy talking about on this song, boy.
What?
You talking crazy on this one.
Oh, yeah?
He ain't even like that.
Oh!
Nah. Cap. You got cap in your raps.
It's
More
another
about what
thing,
happened to
y'all.
Von later, but this was only the beginning.
Von got himself smoked. Von, too tough ass got himself smoked. Just picking at niggas and shit like that. Then thinking you could punch on everybody. Von got himself wet.
That's a fucking guitar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, what kind of rifle is that? Shit.
2 years after this number had more than doubled, as he would claim on his King Von diss song Dead Trolls, by 2020, YoungBoy was claiming to have racked up 7 bodies. Ironically, the exact same number of bodies that King Von was rumored to have, indicating that in 2020, there was actually a direct rivalry between the two on who had the most murders, with them actually seeming to be neck and neck in murder counts during this period. But who were these 4 people who YoungBoy had allegedly killed in less than a year in order to go from 3 to 7 bodies and catch up with King Von? Well, YoungBoy and his 4K Trey's growing affiliations with other gangs in Baton Rouge also brought them several new enemies that would end up supercharging the ongoing war in the city and rise the body count significantly. By the end of 2019, YoungBoy had a rumored 3 bodies under his belt, but he was also
Go back
killing
for him
it in
and
the rap
pause it,
game.
brother.
October 2019 would...
You say go back some?
Yeah, go back for him and pause it to that lineup that just was up there. Yeah, that one.
By the end of 2019, YoungBoy had a rumored 3 bodies under his belt, but he was also killing it. Same number of bodies that King Von was rumored to have, indicating that in 2020, there was actually a direct rivalry between the two on who had the most murders, with them actually seeming to be neck and neck in murder counts during this period. But who were these 4 people who YoungBoy had allegedly killed in less than a year in order to go from 3 to 7 bodies and catch up with King Von? Well, YoungBoy and his 4K Trey.
Okay, so DHG to y'all top left. DHG is dark-hearted goblins. They is actually like Sherwood and shit. They some niggas out Sherwood. But that's YoungBoy little brother. That's it. That's his clique. The ones under him is the vultures. Them 2 was allies, you hear me? That's the Bankstown section. 300 right there. That's Lane section. The niggas under 300 is they allies, which is the Bleeders, which is my section in Zion City. So them 2 gangs, you hear me? Them the niggas putting each other up. But yeah, brother.
His growing affiliations with other gangs in Baton Rouge also brought them several new enemies that would end up supercharging the ongoing war in the city and raise the body count significantly. By the end of 2019, YoungBoy had a rumored 3 bodies under his belt. He was also killing it in the rap game. October 2019 would see him hitting 2 career milestones that he's still not surpassed. His highest charting hit single, Bandit, with Juice WRLD, and the release of, in my opinion, the greatest album in his catalog and the best album in modern gangster rap, AI YoungBoy 2. If you want to know more about the industry success that YoungBoy was having around this time, go and check out this.
Look, this is what I was pointing out the other time. You see how he getting a troll on? That's how the AI YoungBoy 2 album cover.
Facts.
Trap Raw Laws, frost as hell.
6-hour video that I previously did on YoungBoy a couple of years ago. But behind the music industry success, things were getting very complicated in the streets for YoungBoy and his NBA label / gang. At this point, YoungBoy's street rivalries in his hometown had revolved almost completely around his years-long beef with his former friends in the crew TBG. However, coming into the 2020s, another deadly beef would emerge, which I've covered in depth on my second channel, Trap More Ross, this being the beef between 2 gangs known as the Vultures and the Bleeders. The Vultures come out of the so-called Bankstown hood on the north side, which is known as the Third World, while the Bleeders hail from the Glen Oaks neighborhood, also known as Oaktown, which is located to the east from Bankstown. YoungBoy's deadly street alliance 4K Trey would eventually become entangled in the beef between the Vultures and the Bleeders due to shared alliances and rivalries, as Bleeders became allied with TBG, while Vultures became very close with 4K Trey, with the most popular Vultures rapper, YKWHIFV, even receiving an NBA chain from YoungBoy personally. According to online rumors, the chain of events that sparked these new alliances allegedly begun with a murder that hit YoungBoy on a deeply personal level. The connection in this case leads back to yet another gang based in the Sherwood Forest neighborhood on the east side of Baton Rouge, which is most famously represented by B-Way Youngie, a popular rapper who is YoungBoy's actual little brother, with the 2 of them sharing the same father, while there's also a third brother known as D Gobbler. B-Way and D's gangs rep several different names, such as Goblin Gang or DHG, aka Dark Hearted Goblins, and they also rep the number 6 and are sometimes called simply the 6 or 600 or 6 to Crew. B-Way's gang had a long-time rivalry with the gang alliance known as 300, which was founded by youths from 2 different hoods, Mall City on the east side and Gardier, aka G Lane, on the far south side. On the afternoon of December the 2nd, 2019,
whoa, 3 times for that lane, bitch, we made it. Whoa.
Yeah, Cole, that nigga definitely doing homework. You hear that nigga just say Mall City and G Lane? That nigga definitely know his shit.
Yeah, bro. So my hood is officially legendary, man. We made it. Whoa, 3 times for that island. Whoa.
17-year-old Javon Brown, aka Jay, an alleged member of the 300 Alliance, had just got out of the school bus on Ottawa Drive when 3 teenagers began harassing him. What began as a fistfight quickly escalated into gunfire, and within moments, Brown was struck by a bullet and collapsed on the sidewalk.
Approached him, they started a fight with him, and during that fight, one of them pulled out a gun and shot him.
Brown was rushed to the hospital where he died early Tuesday morning.
Almost immediately, detectives began rounding up suspects connected to the attack, and within 48 hours, 3 teens were in custody, including a 16-year-old Kevin Anderson, who had himself gotten shot by accident during the incident, as well as YoungBoy's brothers B-Way Youngie, real name Jeffrey Tate, and D Gobbler, real name Devon Tate. B-Way faced charges of being a participant in the incident, while his brother was booked for allegedly being the triggerman.
The East Baton Rouge Sheriff's Office saying that it was 18-year-old Devon Tate who pulled the trigger, his brother Jeffrey charged as a principal, both avoiding capture until Wednesday.
As Redditors later pointed out, the feud between B-Way's DHG crew and the 300 Alliance played a key role in drawing YoungBoy's 4K Trey gang into the war, once the 300 eventually aligned themselves with the Bleeders. And while YoungBoy himself had personally no part to play in this murder, people online considered this murder to have been the very first catalyst that started the war between these 2 alliances, that at this point included 4K Trey and DHG on one side, and the Bleeders and 300 on the other. Meanwhile, according to more online rumors, B-Way's charges were eventually dropped, but his brother D remains in jail on charges stemming from Jay's murder and other incidents that took place while he was out on bond. 300's revenge for this murder would come already a few weeks later, when 17-year-old Gervonta Taplin, also known as Tay6, an alleged member of the DHG gang, was killed in a Christmas Eve home invasion.
New at 5, this is our first look at the teenager killed early this morning in a shooting. His family tells
Man, I thought that was fucking, what's the name? The guy that played Steve Urkel, Jaleel White. Nah, for real.
Say that boy mama fucked around, left the door open or some shit. Door unlocked. Them little niggas ran through that bitch.
And where he was at when it happened?
I forgot the
On
area.
Millerville.
Millerville. Yeah,
on
Millerville.
Tells us someone came inside Gervonta Taplin's home and shot him.
Tay6's alleged killer was arrested a few months later in February, and he would turn out to be 17-year-old Covarius Garner, aka Cutter or Juice, according to the newspapers, who had confessed the murder to the police while also admitting that he was a member of 300. But while the law had so far been quick to catch both sides of this rivalry, 300 was already about to lose another member, as yet another gang would get involved in the war.
I think this dude with the pole.
The next victim would be 17-year-old Gyron LaBouffe, a promising young athlete and a rapper who was known by the stage name Gyron Bang. He was apparently active in the streets too, with pictures of him The sixth body traces back to YoungBoy's early childhood when his best friend Lil Dave, real name David Cobb, was shot and killed at just age 16 during a so-called arrest in peace picnic held in honor of another slain youth in 2010. Lil Dave's killer was never caught, and according to police, the murder investigation was particularly hindered by the community's unwillingness to cooperate with them. YoungBoy would continue to honor Lil Dave's memory in his music, but he would also rap about his desire for revenge, like in his 2015 track Homicide, where he promised that once they catch the person that killed Lil Dave, he will die, and in the 2016 track R.I.P. Lil Dave, where he promised revenge for what was done to Lil Dave. However, there would be a drastic shift in the way that YoungBoy rapped about Lil Dave 2 months into 2020. In his unreleased 2020 track, Hold 13, YoungBoy raps that they killed Lil Dave when he was 12, but once he made 20, he knocked the killer's face off. The line made 20 could be seen as a reference to either YoungBoy reaching the age of 20 or perhaps racking up a net worth of $20 million by this point, or possibly even paying $20,000 to avenge Lil Dave. He would also expand on this in his other songs, like rapping in his 2024 track Missing Everything that he had a flunky pop the person that killed Lil Dave, while in a leaked song called Yesterday, he raps how his life is not anything like it was in the old days because he doesn't need to get revenge for Lil Dave's death anymore. On another leaked song titled Fighting Demons, YoungBoy would rap how he woke up one morning and heard that somebody had caught the boy that killed Lil Dave, and described frantically calling Ben 10 for an update on the situation and being disappointed to find out they didn't hit him in the head with more than one bullet. Online rumors would eventually connect these lyrics to a shooting that took place on March the 1st, 2020. That night at around 7:40 p.m., 28-year-old Lewis Cryer was standing outside on the 6700 block of Cambridge Street when a car rolled past and someone opened fire. Cryer was hit multiple times and rushed to the hospital, where he would later die of his injuries.
Well, police are trying to get to the bottom of a drive-by shooting in Baton Rouge. Someone shot Lewis Cryer on Cambridge Street Sunday evening. That's just north of Airline Highway.
In the streets of Baton Rouge, Louis Cryer went by the nickname Scooter, and allegedly he belonged to a gang known as the Young Goons, or YGs, who were the previous generation from the Bankstown hood before the Vultures got started. This gang was indeed long rumored to have been responsible for the murder of Lil Dave, with Reddit rumors even pointing to a specific 4K Trey member known as NBA Q, aka Lil Q, as being the person who avenged Lil Dave for YoungBoy. He would be someone that YoungBoy would shout out several times in his songs for being a shooter, apparently part of a deadly duo with another 4K Trey member called Big E, aka Chopper Boy, with one post circulating on Reddit claiming that Q has 3 bodies while Chopper Boy has just one, and one infamous 2017 YoungBoy lyric would describe the duo carrying out a hit for him, saying that they run down their ops with a special delivery from YoungBoy. However, officially, the case of Scooter's murder remains unsolved, but all of these lyrics paint a vivid picture of this murder just being another part of YoungBoy's reputation as the infamous murder man of Baton Rouge, and Reddit commenters are convinced that YoungBoy was directly responsible for calling this hit, with lyrics from the leaked song Hurt Somebody, aka Out My Body, seeing YoungBoy appearing to take credit for avenging Lil Dave and referencing someone called Jordan lining it up. Now, YoungBoy was seemingly using his rap riches to settle old scores from the streets of Baton Rouge from 10 years ago, but it would seem that despite the NBA crew reaching the upper echelons of the rap game, this didn't mean their long-running and biggest ops from TBG would be spared. During 2019 and 2020, the beef between NBA and TBG would reach deadly new heights. On songs, YoungBoy kept throwing shade at his old friends, like in the song Free D-Dog, released in April 2019, where he seems to imply that TBG used to run Baton Rouge, but now they can't claim that anymore, while proudly bragging how he had been getting so many people killed that he had made the whole city of Baton Rouge mad at him for putting so many big bags on people's heads. Unsurprisingly, TBG wasn't about to let this kind of disrespect go unpunished. The following month in May, YoungBoy was booked to perform at Rolling Loud, the biggest rap festival series in the country, where his name would be found on the 4th row of Sunday's performers. It's hard to imagine YoungBoy being so low on the billing now in 2025, when he's selling out stadiums back to back, but at this time in his career, he was still just a young and hungry rising star. And the festival taking place that year in Miami was stacked with other rap stars, many of these being the rap game's biggest artists at the time, descending on Florida to perform, including the likes of Lil Durk, Lil Wayne, 21 Savage, Kodak Black, and Chief Keef. Funnily enough, one of the other artists who was there was Young Thug, the very same person who, according to some rumors, had actually blessed YoungBoy's 4K Trey gang into the official Money Murder Blood Gang umbrella. Early Friday morning, as YoungBoy was
So that's what they said this Blood Gang affiliation come from?
That's who I heard they claim and stamped them and shit like that, but I don't know about that shit.
That shit don't even make sense. I'm gonna keep it real with you.
That shit makes 0 sense.
But I did hear you on what's the name of that damn song? Let's Rock and Roll. When that bitch come on, he was like, you know, real blood been banging my whole life. Like, what, nigga? You been banging
Yup,
well?
I remember that shit. I remember that shit. I like, what? Your whole life?
Well.
What, nigga? Because for sure not in that rat. Damn sure not that rat.
Nigga gotta hit him with the, well, nigga. Well, nigga.
Well, nigga. Well. Well, nigga.
You ain't no blood, bitch ass nigga.
Nigga. That shit fucking hilarious.
Man, appreciate the disclaimer, Rain.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate that. Salute Rain.
allegedly out partying with Young Thug. The shooting would take place on an interstate highway. TMZ would break the story, reporting how the target of the shooting had been Young Thug, but other outlets like the Miami Herald would later report how YoungBoy had also been present.
Parents of children who play Roblox. If your child was sexually exploited, abused,
A couple months later, in June 2019, one of TBG's main rappers and alleged main shooters, Lit Yoshi, would release a song titled Cutter, where he would drop some very interesting bars about him and another TBG rapper, Seven Hardaway, catching their ops on an interstate and adding how Seven was driving while Yoshi was shooting, with fans on Reddit later connecting these lyrics to that Friday morning shootout. But unfortunately for YoungBoy, his troubles in Miami were just getting started, and only a few days later, on Sunday the 12th of May, when he was supposed to be taking the stage at Rolling Loud, he was targeted by shooters in broad daylight at one of the most high-profile hotels in the whole of Florida, the Trump International Hotel and Beach Resort in Sunny Isles. As online sleuths would later put together,
Trump as in 47, the Donald Trump.
Trump Towers, babe.
You can be anything. We're gonna put that iron on you. Your location on folk. Turn it off before they
Trump Towers.
Catch you lacking. Who the fuck is ISO 2 Saucy? ISO 2 Saucy? But I don't know, but these youngsters be fucking me up with this spelling, bro.
Hey,
Boy had made a crucial mistake, leaving his geolocation on whilst tweeting, giving up his location to his ops. And as he and his entourage were about to make their way to the festival, they would be ambushed outside the hotel by assailants who pulled up in a black Cadillac Escalade. As shots were fired from the Escalade in the direction of YoungBoy's entourage, it would trigger an immediate return of fire from members of his own NBA team who were carrying their own weapons. From here, complete chaos ensued as gunslingers from both parties engaged in a Wild West-style shootout in the middle of a busy tourist hotspot. By some miracle, YoungBoy would again escape unscathed, while his girlfriend at the time would get hit on the shoulder, and 3 bystanders would also be grazed, including a 5-year-old child. But most tragically, however,
wait, hold up. Was he with what's the girl?
K.
Okay, so that wasn't Jeanette. All right.
He was with a chick named K. K got hit in her arm. The little girl got grazed, and that man there lost his life.
As he and his entourage prepared to go to the show on Sunday afternoon, someone in a black Cadillac Escalade drove past and opened fire. Members of Gauldin's entourage All with legally owned weapons returned fire on their. One of their stray bullets killed Muhammad Radi, 43, a Hertz rental car employee who had just finished his shift across the street.
One of the stray bullets would end up hitting a bystander named Mohammed Jaradi, who would pass away from his injuries. After the shootout was over, and before the police and the news media would take over the crime scene, YoungBoy would somehow manage to flee the scene and still make it to his performance at Rolling Loud before he was ultimately hunted down by the police and arrested for violating his probation for allegedly taking part in the return of fire. When it came to the actual assailants, on the other hand, the Miami police were quick to make the connection that they were likely YoungBoy's rivals from his home state of Louisiana, but their exact identities and motives would remain unknown for some time, although the online sleuths were quick to notice how Lit Yoshi had been posting himself on social media sliding around Miami, armed with the exact weaponry that the police would later connect to the shooters. Coming into 2020, the war would continue back in Baton Rouge, where on the 22nd of March 2020, a shooting would occur at the family home.
Again, self-snitching at its finest.
All-time high.
You posting a goddamn blick that these... Man, what the fuck, bro?
The same motherfucker they used.
Bro,
that nigga Walter to say nigga got caught in a shootout and still went to the show.
I mean, shit. Yeah, but y'all gotta stop with all this goddamn self-incriminating shit y'all got going on online, bro. Everybody got guns, bro.
And then get mad when a motherfucker do a video on you.
Go to jail and say nigga snitching on them. But everybody got guns, bro. See, when Rambo posted his guns and he doing his tutorials on how to break down guns, how to clean them, telling you the difference between this ammunition, this scope, or that scope. He not breaking the law. Y'all niggas are posting guns that y'all actually out here moving, grooving, vibing, and sliding with, bro.
Exactly.
Yeah. Bro, y'all gotta stop,
exactly.
Bro.
37-year-old NBA affiliate named Travis Parker, known in the streets as T-Baby. T-Baby was shot and killed, while a 62-year-old woman believed to be his mother would be wounded, but survived. In the aftermath of the shooting, fans would notice that TBG rapper Fredo Bang appeared to be trolling 4K Trey member YMM Captain by liking his tribute post to T-Baby, possibly hinting at TBG's involvement in the murder. Just like after Dump's killing, when Boulevard Quick was gunned down only months later, in what many saw as retaliation, the revenge was about to come again, only this time, it would only take 1 week. On Sunday, the 29th of March 2020, a 36-year-old man was found shot to death in front of a Food Mart and gas station on the north side of Baton Rouge. Police would later identify the man as Jason Nixon, a well-known TBG affiliate, better known by his nickname Dutch, who had often been seen alongside TBG artists like Fredo Bang, Lit Yoshi, and Boulevard Sleepy. Dutch was also apparently known in the streets of Baton Rouge as a certified stepper who had been putting work in for likely a couple of decades at this point. TBG members would post numerous tributes to Dutch on social media, while NBA and 4K Trey...
Hey, I know Dutch. I know him personally.
Yeah, Dutch was thugging.
Yeah, I know him personally. He used to be in Gardner.
Dutch was thugging.
Yeah.
His brother Rico, the one sent dude to the shop in a parish.
All right.
Affiliates were exhilarated, with BBG Baby Joe immediately posting a story on Instagram with a caption saying how he knew that TBG were hurting, together with a foot emoji implying that 4K Trey had stepped on them, while Ben 10 would later rejoice during an Instagram live, pointing out how TBG now had 3 dead members who they can't get back.
Man, my kitty can't walk. Hey, what man? Your brother dead. 3 on dead, out 3.
They can't get him back.
Yeah, shit. What you say?
Hostiles approaching. Reciprocating hostility. Helping.
My bad, y'all. The robot
Also, in online theories, 4K Trey has commonly been connected to at least 3 murders against TBG, the murder of Dutch being the 3rd. YoungBoy himself would also make a similar reference in a song called 4K Trey 3-Style, which was officially released in 2022, but the actual recording time is somewhat unclear, with some sources claiming the song was actually recorded all the way back in 2019. But in the song, YoungBoy raps how his TBG ops were repping off of one body that they caught from NBA being Big Dump, whereas YoungBoy's gang had killed 3 of their homies, G Money, Boulevard Quick, car up before an infamous NBA member named Baba would step in. Baba, according to the wildest online rumors, is an actual contract killer with a rumored 10 plus bodies. And according to these lyrics, he's the one who shot back and got the enemy off of YoungBoy in the shootout at the Trump Hotel. Baba, real name Osama Eugene Manuel, and YoungBoy.
Okay. Let me say this. This man, mama named him Osama. Eugene Manuel. Why not Eugene Manuel? Osama. She had to know that this little nigga been on a goddamn terrorist watch list since he was a day old. That is crazy to me.
Yeah, you can hit me now, brother.
Yeah, I hear you, brother.
Damn, motherfucker, still calling me, fucking my shit up.
Yeah, all right. So the guy that's right here in the red hood, Rain. His name is Osama. His mother chose to name him Osama. That shit there is just crazy to me.
Boy would indeed both be later charged in relation to the shooting by Mohammed Jaradi's family in a civil court, which actually named Baba Osama as YoungBoy's official security guard. But after these lyrics, YoungBoy then continues rapping how people must have also heard about someone who got killed while pumping gas, saying how he pointed him out and got him out, which could in fact be seen to be yet another reference to Dutch, the implication being that Dutch was in fact killed at a gas station as a retaliation for that Miami shooting. In online rumors, certain specific 4K Trey members have even been connected to the murder, like Herm from NBA and Chine from the Vultures, with some Baton Rouge drillologists even making dedicated posts labeling Herm as the killer of Dutch. Both Herm and Chine have also participated in dissing Dutch personally following his death, with Herm rapping in his 2022 song Puff Puff how people say that he's a killer and how someone was acting like it was smoke until Herm and his partners rolled him up. Herm then making a devilish play on words by saying that he's now smoking a big Dutch, a double entendre referring to both the Dutch Master's blunt raps and TBG Dutch himself. Chine, on the other hand, would make several social media posts dissing Dutch. In one Instagram story, making his own version of the lyrics of Lil Durk's song Should Have Ducked, where Durk raps how he gets as high as Duck, referring to his dead rival FBG Duck, with Chine writing how he gets as high as Dutch. In another post, he would take the disrespect even further, actually a picture at the very gas station where Dutch was killed, while adding a caption saying how he was at the same location where a gorilla had taken his last breath, referring to Dutch's status as a member of the TBG, aka Top Boy Gorillas. In his song Chase Down, Lit Yoshi would also rap some interesting lyrics that seem to point squarely at NBA and 4K Trey, as he first pays tribute to Dutch before saying how TBG caught someone in Yoshi's hood and did a drill, specifically mentioning a Jeep. Now, it's not exactly clear whether Yoshi means that he was sliding in a Jeep or his victims were, but interestingly, there was indeed one incident on April the 6th, 2020, only about a week after Dutch's murder, where Lit Yoshi and another man, allegedly Seven Hardaway, were caught on CCTV arriving at an apartment complex on the north side of Baton Rouge with a Jeep Cherokee, before allegedly opening fire on 3 people, one of these being none other than NBA member Lil Pap, real name DeAndre Fields.
Okay,
What you about to say? Yep.
That was that was the shit that happened on Easter when the kids got hit, huh?
Yep. All of them was sitting in the car and shit. But yep, they tried to get back. They tried to get back behind this shit. You hear me? But that was indeed the dude in the beginning video who had, end up getting charged with the G shit. Yoshi had hit him.
And this what I don't respect about I can't say I don't respect Leosha Gangster because he most definitely one of them. But the open fire at a party full of kids,
is insane.
Just wrong, bro. That shit just wrong, bro. Cause I know a child got shot that day too. A little small baby, I think like 4 years old.
Yep.
So I don't respect that shit, bro. Leave the babies alone, bro.
Kids out that shit. But that in fact was Leosha and Seven Hardaway did that. They actually, Hardaway was still here. Hardaway will be charged for that shit too. It's documented.
Who would eventually be charged with the murder of G Money. Clearly then, Yoshi's lyrics seem to point to him very much holding NBA responsible for Dutch's murder. Still, officially the murder has remained unsolved, and even almost a full year after the murder in February 2021, local news would report how the police were still looking for a motive. Lit Yoshi himself, on the other hand, would eventually be charged with the shooting of Lil Pat and many others, getting hit with a staggering 7 counts of attempted murder, with even the Miami shooting targeting YoungBoy eventually becoming part of the case. And he would eventually plead guilty,
Pause it,
receiving a
brother.
15-year sentence that he has since.
Sometimes you gotta ask yourself, was that shit all worth it? This man just got 15 years hard time for 7 counts of attempt. He would have did better having 2 hats.
Hey, for real.
They be more lenient on your ass when you actually spank a nigga. But them attempts get your ass railroaded.
Like, oh, so you just out here attempting unalive motherfuckers, huh?
Yeah, you just attempting and you got 7. Yeah, you a menace to society.
Yeah, go sit your ass down somewhere.
And he gotta do 15 flat. You heard me? He been trying to get his shit overturned, but they ain't doing it. Yeah, Whatchamacallit came out and said he got 15 hard labor. Like hard labor means he go be working in the field and some more shit. You feel me? Like go from being a gangster and laying law in the streets to having to be a slave. You feel me?
Nah, for real. Out there bitch in that field with that hoe.
You hear me?
Monk, too crazy. I don't know if we can say that, bro, because 80% of the shit that he done put out in his videos, these niggas said in their songs on one of their social medias.
And they get on social media and they tell you who they just spanked.
So
you know.
So if a nigga gonna call Trap Law the feds, you gotta call these niggas self snitches.
How is you able to get on there and tell on yourself and I can't make money off your stupid ass for telling on yourself? So telling on yourself only like you able to tell on yourself and I can't react to you telling on yourself.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You feel me?
Tried to get overturned unsuccessfully. But despite one of the most fearsome shooters from TBG being taken off the streets, YoungBoy's battles were far from over, and no doubt the attention he was getting from his ops in the streets was only made worse by the frequent lyrics that he was dropping, bragging about being responsible for these murders. In 2020, YoungBoy dropped several songs where his body count seemed to rise rapidly. Of course, this was likely because many of those tracks just happened to drop that year, not because of all the...
Yeah, see, what's your opinion on that?
Why is your stupid ass letting people be able to connect the dots? 1 month you got 6 batters, then the next year, now you're up to 10. So niggas go pinpoint shit and put even some of this shit on here. Ain't exactly him. But you aligned with motherfuckers who snitching on themselves. So now they connecting the dots to your ass because you done laid around here and told people that you got 19 batters. So these people is trying to connect the dots with these 19 batters. And you giving in-depth detail about these batters.
Yeah, saying the girl name that got shot at the store was just crazy.
Come on, man. Saying I heard a nigga was with his bitch. She got hit. And like, nigga, a nigga was just with his bitch and got hit. So you rapped about it. You think we ain't gonna put that on you? It's crazy, bro.
Nah, for real.
Murders actually occurred during that time. In April 2020, the song Step On was released, together with a music video to promote YoungBoy's 38 Baby 2 mixtape that dropped later that month. In the song, YoungBoy claimed to now have 4 bodies, which based on our list so far, could be referring to any combination of them, depending on when this song was recorded. Then, in September 2020, YoungBoy dropped the song Big Bankroll as part of his Top album. However, according to Genius, this song was actually already teased by YoungBoy as far back as July the 29th, 2019. In this song, YoungBoy appeared to imply to already have 5 bodies, and by late 2020, the public body count had grown to 7, as mentioned on the song Hurt Somebody, which YoungBoy reportedly premiered on his Instagram Live on August the 22nd, 2020. However, the much more famous example is of course the song Dead Trolls, which he released on the same Top album as the song Big Bankroll, dropping the music video for the song the same day the album was released in September 2020. Here, YoungBoy even specifies that all of these 7 murders supposedly happened in his hometown of Baton Rouge. Interestingly, the song has been seen as a diss towards the rapper King Von, who YoungBoy was beefing heavily with around this time, and King Von would famously also claim to have 7 bodies of his own. Now, I'm pretty much the internet's leading expert on King Von at this point, as I broke down all
That ain't
7
have
of his
nothing to do with
rumored
Von.
murders that he'd been involved in a 3.5-hour video where I...
What you said? I had stepped away. My bad.
Yeah, he was saying that YoungBoy saying 7 murders in my hometown, telling bitches I did that. He's saying maybe he was throwing shots at Von because Von had 7 murders. That had nothing to do with Von. He literally telling niggas, yeah, shit going on in my hometown. He was claiming 7 hats around that year. I remember when that song first dropped, had Baton Rouge going crazy. That was some Baton Rouge shit though.
Yeah, but you know, you can't be out here putting all this shit on the internet, doing all this snitching, and then
And
take niggas
niggas ain't gonna put
telling
their own spin to it. Exactly. You feel me?
because man, what the fuck that was? I can't remember exactly what two gangs they was referring to, but it was the officer like, yeah, man, somebody just put out another song. And it's like a fucking room full of investigators listening to the song, comparing notes, breaking down the lyrics. Oh, Queso and them.
Oh, yup.
Queso and them. Remember the detective was on the stand? He was saying, yeah, like we monitor they use the YouTubes, all their social medias.
Yup.
So when they put out a post or put out a song, man, we break it down.
You feel me? We already know what they talking about. Like, you feel me? We know exactly what they talking about. Man, these people be having street people working for them. You feel me?
Nah,
Niggas
for
be in the
real.
streets working with these people.
I labeled him a serial killer. It's my personal opinion that King Von did indeed personally murder 7 people as part of his own participation in a Chicago gang war. However, if you want to go as far as to include murders that he might have ordered, like that of Tuckerville's Man, aka Get Right, or murders that he allegedly funded, like the hit on FBG Duck, you could make an argument that he might be responsible for 9 to 12 murders. But during 2020, when Von burst onto the scene amid claims that he had 7 bodies under his belt, he quickly became the most buzzing gangster rapper in the scene. This just so happened to be the time when YoungBoy was beginning to drop lyrics where he too would brag about having 7 bodies. It seems to me that there was a degree of insecurity on both sides when it came to Von and YoungBoy, leading to a twisted rivalry and competition about who was the biggest killer. But with YoungBoy, it's safe to say that things are much more complicated because, as he has also said in his songs, he wasn't the actual trigger man in any of these murders, but rather just the one paying for them. I believe that King Von disliked YoungBoy because he didn't believe his claims of having bodies to be valid, considering that he was paying hitmen and claiming the murders his crew was doing, unlike King Von, who had seemingly got his hands dirty and personally killed 7 times. Unfortunately, the rivalry between YoungBoy and Von would get very complicated, as Von would provoke YoungBoy by taking photos with the mother of his child, Jania. Interestingly, after this, one of YoungBoy's most feared enforcers, NBA Ben 10, would actually promise to kill Von for what Jania did with him, but ultimately, that wouldn't even be necessary, as unfortunately, King Von...
And see,
So
that's
what
the
if they
shit.
was to actually hurt Von? What if it was NBA and them side to kill Von and this unalive Von and this nigga actually got on there and swore for God to murder this man? Would motherfuckers be telling?
This what I'm seeing throughout this. Everything Trap Lord posts is a receipt from them niggas.
It's receipts. It's receipts.
From the niggas that's allegedly doing the shit.
It's literally receipts. Like, stop being dumbass. Stop doing nigga shit. You feel me? Plain and simple. That's nigga shit.
underestimated the situation when he attempted to embarrass YoungBoy by beating up his artist, Savannah rapper Quando Rondo, who had signed to the NBA label. As the story goes, Quando was being protected that night by Lil Tim, a notorious shooter in his own right with rumored bodies of his own in his home city of Savannah, Georgia. Lil Tim ended up shooting Von dead that night, protecting Quando Rondo's safety and arguably YoungBoy's reputation. But for the purposes of this video, we're not going to count King Von's killing as a body on YoungBoy's tally. YoungBoy has certainly taken a liking to Lil Tim
I
as a
respect him
result
for
of this,
saying
though,
that.
seemingly bringing him
When
on a
he ain't
master
got no
tour and using
misinformation, he
him
go
as
say it.
frontline protection after seeing him prove himself on Von. But even brushing aside taking out Chicago's most feared killer and adding yet another certified killer to his own entourage, unfortunately for YoungBoy's enemies, his contract business would seemingly continue like clockwork, because within 2 years of King Von's death, the number of bodies that he claimed responsibility for had almost doubled, rising to a staggering 12 bodies by 2022. The year that this song dropped, where he claimed to have 12 bodies, was an incredibly violent year, where an insane total of 6 of YoungBoy's enemies would all end up losing their lives back to back.
You can make serious money streaming with Rumble Studio.
Oh, now
Here's
this
how.
one here is the
Start
most
earning on
police,
day
my
one
nigga.
with Rumble.
Oh my
The
God.
summer of 2020 in gangster rap was truly a battle of the bodies.
This one here was so police. This murder that they finna show that dude, that shit was so police. The nigga who did the shit go get on Clubhouse. Watch.
Hold on.
The summer of 2020.
Look at Trump Lord with the fucking moist and
That's
like
that
T-Mo
motherfucking
on.
background that YoungBoy used for that album.
You hear me? Peep gang, how you got the two moist and like T-Mo chains on though.
Yep.
In
That's what he
gangster
used
rap
for that
was
album.
truly a battle of the bodies, with both King Von and YoungBoy puffing out their chests and setting the internet on fire by both claiming to have been responsible for 7 murders. Despite King Von being the more certified killer with documented proof of his back-to-back murders, he was unfortunately caught out of bounds and ended up losing his life, just like many did before him, by underestimating the ruthlessness of NBA, 4K Trey, and their affiliates nationwide. But in the end, even with King Von out of the picture, YoungBoy wasn't satisfied with being top of the killer rapper leaderboard and vowed to add more bodies to his tally. He famously rapped the chilling lines in his 2021 song Forgiato that a rapper, most likely Von, wanted him dead, but he'd taken their soul, and that at this point he had over 7 kills to his name and intended to surpass 10 bodies so that he could begin counting murders on his toes. And in the summer of 2021, there would be yet another murder that's been connected to YoungBoy's 4K Trey, but this one has by and large remained a mystery with very little information available online. But here's what we do know. On the night of June the 11th, 2021, 18-year-old Cornell McDuffie, also known in his circle as Nell, was involved in a single car crash on East I-10 near Essen Lane around 11:34 p.m. Immediately following the crash, officers found...
Watch what YoungBoy cousin Scully go get on Clubhouse and say.
Again, self-snitching is at an all-time high.
All-time high.
Duffy lying in a grassy area near the crash scene, while 3 others attempted to flee on foot. Subsequently, the 3 people were arrested, but they were uncooperative, while McDuffie was transported to a nearby hospital where he later died from his injuries. The police connected the crashed car to a shooting that had taken place right before the crash, about 3 miles west on the 2200 block of Ballish Drive, which is why the local newspaper The Advocate would first report that Nell had died due to a gunshot wound. However, an autopsy would reveal no gunshot wounds, meaning that Nell's fatal injuries were in fact from the car crash itself. Following Cornell's death, his balloon release was held in Gardeer, one of the strongholds of the 300 Alliance, and later on...
Again, woo, 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 we on the map, you hear me? Now, I really put us on the map, but, you know, Trap Law just, you know, just times 2 in it, you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Members of 300, including their perhaps most well-known rapper, Rel Bang, would engage in an interesting conversation.
He from the hood. Bitch was out here leaving footprints, but he broke bad and told. So none of that shit don't even matter.
Far shit, you hear me?
Yeah, they got work with his name in it.
Conversation.
Lil one would definitely send you. Lil one would send you to your maker.
Yeah, nah, that's a fact.
The Clubhouse app, during which YoungBoy's alleged cousin, Hu Gang D, aka Scully, seemed to reference a shooting incident like the one that had preceded Nell's death, but calling the dead person Cornelius, possibly mispronouncing Cornell's name while saying that he had put the iron on that boy and gunned him down.
Hey, look, hanging out the one that's trying to flush him on the interstate. I'm telling you.
Hey, now you were hanging out that window.
Man, look. Hey, say, pull up, let us see. Hey, look.
Hey, call Ben. Call him.
Man, you boy. Ain't your work, man. Stop rapping.
I don't do no rapping. I don't gotta rap.
Hey, and I put the people Cornelius up.
Man, where you at? Yeah, man. You ain't kill that man. You ain't kill that man. You hit that man in his leg.
Gun them down. Hit him with that. Hit him with that.
Get him in the leg for dancing around this. Baby, for real. Hey, say real, man. Hey, man, we.
Hey, say that. He was spinning, nigga, chasing them down. Now he in the grave.
Hey, Jay, y'all be going to the most man, who gang these boys? Like,
put the people up. Yeah, man, put the iron on the plate like a blind.
Yeah. Where you at?
Because of this, even Redditors would claim.
So after hearing all that, how can we call somebody the feds or the police after these niggas get on these social media sites and do all this self-incriminating shit? Like,
come on, man.
Y'all saw that Yoshi posted the goddamn gun that allegedly was used in the Miami situation. He got the shit on his live. Like, what are we talking about, bro?
That man literally got on that bitch and say, "I put your people Cornelius up. I followed behind him. He tried to get away. I swerved him out the road. I hit him with that ghost." Then you could hear Real actually confirm the shit. Man, you hit that man in his leg.
Exactly,
That was
bro.
the shot that swerved him off the road and he crashed and unfortunately lost his life. Be fucking for real.
D to be the killer of Cornelius, although it seems that in reality, whether D had been part of the shooting incident that preceded Nell's death, the real cause of his death was the car crash. Gang D's nickname Scully is something he seems incredibly proud of, and during interviews, he's inferred that he earned this nickname through either shooting someone in the skull or catching a skull via a shooting.
Get the nickname Scully.
From that first answer, from this tattoo, I'm just say it like that. The gun, shooting the skull.
Yeah.
It's good.
Perhaps he's referring to a different murder, or maybe he's false claiming the murder of Cornell, but arguably, if shooting the car up
But he
caused the
referring
death
to a
directly,
murder.
then you could argue it's
Dumb
legitimate for him to claim responsibility for the murder. But what we do know is that Scully had discussed numerous incidents where he was shot and almost lost his life, as he proudly states that at least one person who shot him is indeed dead.
That situation when you got shot in the face, that was the craziest that you...
That dead. He ain't coming back. You just leave him in the past. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Another 4K Trey member called Gang Tay Life, or Tayski, whose name will become very familiar as this video progresses, also rapped in his 2024 song Blockbender, featuring the young 4K Trey affiliate 38 Young'un, how someone had tried to follow them on the interstate, so they shot them with a Draco, seemingly describing the events that preceded the death of Nell. Ultimately, before the year would come to an end, the 4K Trey shooters would allegedly catch one more body, this being yet another occasion where the motive for the murder went years back, proving that when it comes to NBA 4K Trey, Get Back really has no expiry date.
If you have Snap or Medicaid, you may qualify for a free iPhone or Samsung, plus up to 10 gigabytes of data. Apply online in just 2 minutes. We'll ship it to you for free. Phones are limited, so visit tagmobile.com to check your eligibility today.
Never ever sue the driver who crashed into you after a car accident. There's a better way to get compensated that's faster, easier.
Like the murder of Lil Dave's alleged killer, the motive of the next murder would also stem back to YoungBoy's past, more specifically, the murder of his cousin Boozilla in November 2016. The murder was never officially solved, but rumors quickly began circulating who might have been responsible. One name that surfaced early was FL Dusa, a rapper from a clique called Forever Loyalty, who would later become closely affiliated with TBG, with Dusa dropping numerous songs with TBG artists like Fredo Bang and Lit Yoshi. Dusa and Buzilla had been beefing heavily in the lead up to his death, with Buzilla dissing Dusa in his July 2016 song Forgive Me, rapping how Dusa was scared to walk through the South and that they were laying down the law in their area. And following Buzilla's death, the comment section of the song's music video would fill up with replies mocking him for making these statements.
At 136, he say Dusa be scared to walking through the South. Dusa the one who got Buzilla smashed. Dusa put that work in. Dusa put that work in on boy and his BBG. I guess partner ratted on Dusa like they did Yoshi. Stop trying to lock up y'all. Speaking of that, I ain't gonna say the little nigga name, but one of the BBG members got shot at midnight. Got an ambulance and thought he wasn't gonna make it. Told the police who shot him.
Told the people everything.
That nigga say them niggas think they gonna be out here living while I'm out here dead.
That nigga told them everything.
Told everything, bro. In the fucking paramedic was like, man, your shit ain't life threatening, bro. You gonna be all right, little brother. But the detective here please do continue.
Please do continue. I mean, you gonna be all right, but please do continue. You just gave us some juicy shit.
Dusa be scared walking through the South, but Dusa the reason you 6 feet now. He said FL Dusa be scared to walk through the South, but FL Dusa wasn't. He the one that shot him in the head in the South. Ain't karma a bitch?
Statements, which implied that Dusa had in fact not been scared to walk through the South and had in fact come through to kill Buzilla. But despite these rumors, Dusa was never officially connected to Buzilla's murder. In early 2017, the Baton Rouge...
And look, bro, I'm gonna remind y'all, these niggas are literally right around the corner from each other.
Literally.
Dusa be over there on Tennessee. Them little BBG niggas be over there on like Taylor, Tav. They be on the other side of Highland right there by the little Phoenix store and shit like, bro, them niggas is literally a 5-minute walk from each other, bro.
You just noticed, y'all just noticed that video of Buzilla sitting on that train track rapping? That's literally the track that separates them.
Like,
That's literally the fucking track. Once you cross that track, you go be in the top. Once the opposition cross that track, he is officially in the bottom. Literally.
You nigga crazy, bro.
Once you cross that train
would
track,
arrest
you
two
is
men.
in opposition land. And let me give y'all some game on Dusa. Dusa is one of Kevin Gates' former artists. He signed them for a little time, you hear me? Man, I'm finna hit you back, man. Let me get my content out the way. And don't say my fucking name. Somebody delete that shit out the chat.
I already did.
Yeah, appreciate that. Don't motherfucker just say my whole motherfucking name on YouTube.
In connection to the murder, Trayshawn Coates and Monty Carey, but these arrests wouldn't amount to much, as both men were ultimately not indicted by the grand jury, who left the door open for more evidence to be found in the future. Unfortunately, such evidence would seemingly never come, and officially the case remains unsolved. However, on the 10th of December 2021, a murder would take place that, at least in online theories, would later be connected to the murder of Buzilla. That night, around 6 p.m., a 22-year-old man named Michael Riley was gunned down while sitting in a car at the intersection of River Road and Brightside Drive. But what would make this murder particularly tragic?
Hey, so look, this is the dude right here. They say he was from across the river. I remember this happened. You hear me, brother?
You can hear me, bro?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I bet.
Yeah, they say that little dude, whatever Riley, who got him right here. Hold up, let me see.
Unfortunately, such evidence would seemingly never come, and officially the case remains unsolved. However, on the 10th of December 2021, a murder would take place that, at least in online theories, would later be connected to the murder of Buzilla. That night, around 6 p.m., a 22-year-old man named...
They say he even crossed the river.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah, because look. Hold up. Hello? Hello? All right. So look, the child that was in the car with him, I work with his uncle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like, dude, the little boy, mama was going up on her social media. I know her too, but I ain't gonna put her name out there. But
Yeah.
like her social media had went viral that night when it happened and whatnot. She was like these, lame ass niggas shooting up cars with kids in them and shit or whatever. Like they knew my baby was in that car.
Yep.
And the way she was talking as if they knew who did it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna actually go back down up what's the name said that when that shit was in 22. I'm gonna actually go back and see if that shit still on her page because it went viral. Like her comments, man, that she had like about 800-900 comments under that shit.
Yeah.
Michael Riley was gunned down while sitting in a car at the intersection of River Road and Brightside Drive. But what would make this murder particularly tragic was that Riley had been sitting on the back seat of the car together with his 5-year-old nephew, who would also get hit during the shooting, and both Riley and his nephew would die from their injuries.
We're told the victims were 22-year-old Michael Riley and his nephew, 5-year-old Carson Riley. Officials say both victims were passengers in a car.
The police would soon come to a conclusion that this had been a targeted attack, but they weren't aware of any suspects or motives.
Individuals that pulled up next to this vehicle and opened fire intended to shoot the individuals that were in this car.
Police not yet able to pinpoint a motive or any suspects. This, the latest investigation in a record year for homicides.
This double murder too has gone unsolved, but online sleuths would eventually come up with some interesting theories. A key role in these theories points to yet another 4K Trey affiliate called BB4L Nolan, a son of a legendary underground rapper from Baton Rouge called Percy Keith, and allegedly a nephew of none other than the rapper Kevin Gates. Nolan had been making a career as a rapper since about 2019, when he was released from juvie at just 14 years old, but it was his 2022 song, Come Here, that would pique the interest of online sleuths as he rapped some truly wild lyrics about catching someone in traffic before adding how it's F that little boy too. The streets would talk, and eventually rumors begun spreading online that these lyrics were Nolan talking about the murder that was Get Back for Boozilla. And given
all right, come on. Did y'all hear what he said in the song?
Fuck that little boy too. A fucking 5-year-old child.
That just make it worse, but the self-incrimination, like this shit is crazy, bro. Nobody could have told me this in a million years.
Boy too.
Nobody could have told me this shit in a million years, bro. That niggas in real life commit crimes, and right after they leave the scene of the crime, niggas on their Instagram or their Facebook talking about go pick your partner up. Yeah, he right there on the corner of S and Lane.
Hey, Spill, I don't know if you listening to the video hard, but we is not calling no grown men little boys. I don't know if you paid attention, but it was a 5-year-old little boy that got unalived in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you really paying attention, but.
And that ain't the only shit child that done been involved in this shit.
Yeah, he say caught dude in traffic and fuck that little boy too. He talking about the 5-year-old little boy.
Yeah. But in some instances, we do call grown ass men little boys and beyond. Then the dude who got the dude, he was 22. The child was 5. Yeah, him right here with the polo on, he was 22.
Yeah, we get all that Spill. But I don't give a fuck how old you are. 14, 15, 16, you still shot a 5-year-old. So fuck you, let your mama love you.
Dead home. But SEC championship is breaking. Oh, y'all, just in case y'all, yeah, it's 14-0 Georgia. I need them to go ahead and put Alabama up out of here. But just in case y'all ain't know, Stream Eats back working, the Sports Series back working, they back cracking. So if y'all need to watch the championship
They brought that
game,
bitch back?
Yeah, they brought it back. That's what I'm on right now.
Oh, yeah. They knew they was losing viewers and money from that shit.
Yeah, they brought that bitch back. And Alabama quarterback limping off the field. Let's go. Where you at, twin?
and how detailed these lyrics were, it was only a matter of time before they were connected to the double murder of Michael Riley, who was also known by his nickname Smiz, as well as the death of his nephew. But the most shocking thing is that YoungBoy himself would allegedly mention and confirm.
Now hold up. Did y'all hear what he just said? It was only a matter of time before they was connected to the murder.
Yep.
Because he decided to get in the song and fucking rap about it.
Lil one actually in jail now. You feel me? I know some shit on dude and shit too. You feel me? My
Percy's son?
huh?
Talking about Percy's son?
Yeah, he actually in jail right now. As he was in jail and shit like that, like he was one of my girl's sister's patients because she a nurse, and so he had to see her and shit from time to time. But the little dude Nolan, he like got some type of, like, what you call that shit? Some type of blood disease. You know, they shot his ass up, and he dealing with health issues from that shit.
Right.
So yeah.
Confirmed these murders in songs that released over the next year. The first example came only 2 months later in the track Neighborhood Superstar from his joint album with DaBaby titled Better Than You. In this song, YoungBoy would brag about turning the beats.
Yeah, them niggas. Fuck that, man. I knew what I was doing at 15, 16 years old, bro. Shooting a child unalive a child is wrong, bro. I feel you, though. See, I bought the spiel last night in the verses, so he kind of mad right now.
His music into homicides and ending his second verse outright saying that he left 9 bodies in his town. However, the hit on Smiz that took the life of his 5-year-old nephew would seemingly be directly referenced much later in his December 2022 song titled This Not a Song, This For My Supporters, where YoungBoy updates his body count to 12 before adding how there's
you
also
able
one
to up the
child
volume
dead, who
for them?
YoungBoy seemingly is.
You say turn the volume up? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I just heard Lane Calder say it, so I don't know if everybody else had an issue with not hearing it, but just for him.
12 bodies and 1 child dead. Stop the violence. What I fuck said? What I fuck
That's
said?
when he went on that Stop the Violence campaign. Remember, he made that 8-9 minute song telling people to stop unaliving and stop shooting these kids, leave the kids out of it.
And look, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Lil Yoshi niece or something lose her arm or some shit?
Stepdaughter. See how shit come back tenfold though? God forgive me, but you see when you out here doing all that shit. Remember he had hit that child? And it's documented, you feel me? That's what he's in jail for. Hitting a child. And that nigga, matter of fact, I think the fucking girlfriend and the child lost their arm. Yeah, Leah ain't got no arm neither, if I ain't mistaken.
And YB rapped about that shit too, didn't it?
Yep, he got a song. Yep. I heard that boy child arm got took off for playing like that.
Including in his overall body count, this child allegedly being the nephew of Riley, with YoungBoy then adding how he said to stop the violence, almost as if implying that his body count is not something he wants to brag about, but rather just the unfortunate reality of the situation that his gangster rap career had placed him in. This song appeared to echo a broader message that YoungBoy had been pushing in late 2022. Around the same time, in November, he even posted a somewhat strange video on social media, grinning from ear to ear, while repeatedly urging his followers to stop the violence, which some people took as a serious plea, while others thought that YoungBoy was simply trolling.
Hey, stop the violence. Hey, look at me. I can promise you it's a bigger side of life. Stop the violence. You could be a rich, you hear me? I can promise you. I'm talking about, I ain't gonna tell you what's in my bank account, but hey, stop the violence. You hear me? Thank you.
The song, This Not a Song, This For My Supporters, as a whole is one of the strangest songs in YoungBoy's discography, consisting of over 8 minutes of YoungBoy's rapping and talking that often sounds like a pure stream of consciousness, as YoungBoy then continues the lyrics by implying that he doesn't actually want to beef with his ops and hurt them, before seemingly giving his quick analysis of violence in Baton Rouge, connecting it to the city's crippling poverty. He then asks for forgiveness from God, saying how he misled some people, perhaps referring to both his fans who might be influenced by his popular murder music and his young shooters back in Baton Rouge that had had been killing people in the name of his 4K Trey gang, such as BB4L Nolan, who would end up catching an unrelated murder charge in the summer of 2025. The fans weren't necessarily buying the Stop the Violence message, though, suggesting that this was really just a self-centered effort to shake off attention from three-letter agencies like the FBI and ATF that might have been looking into these bodies. While one local member would even note how YB was too up on the scoreboard to now be
To make a long point short, one thing I can say about that nigga YB, and he hashtag remind me of not standing down to his ops, and he handled his business. But the only difference, if I do something, I ain't did it. But he too up on the scoreboard to be hollering, let's stop. But I ain't him. Just the one who don't understand and condone. Is he saying condone all that fake shit, follower, leader?
That's what I'm thinking he's saying, condone.
Yeah, bro. Man, god damn, bro.
These niggas illiterate.
You having me thinking I'm fucking up or some shit, bro. Like I know how to read good. And who is the Baton Rouge King? Who is that?
That's a dude, that nigga, I think dude actually from Glen Oaks. I know dude. Dude got a couple pictures with True Bleed in them in front of gooses and shit. But he ain't nobody who out here slanging fire and shit.
Oh, bet that up.
Yeah.
About peace. But whether YoungBoy was being serious or not, his message was likely influenced by the events of 2022, when the violence around 4K Trey would surge into overdrive, starting with the beef between two gangs mentioned earlier, the Vultures and the Bleeders, who had already gotten into a war in 2021 that ended up claiming a staggering number of people in less than 1 year, eventually also drawing in YoungBoy's 4K Trey, causing a gruesome double murder in early 2022 that would shock the entire city. Now, if you want to learn more in depth about the beef,
this the shit that really set Baton Rouge off right here.
Yeah. And look, y'all, the day this happened, I actually heard the shots. The day this shit happened, we was pouring concrete, but fixing certain parts on the mall parking lot. We was on the other side. I literally had just left. I heard the shots that day.
Like, them niggas did, this shit was similar to damn near like the motherfucking FVG duck shit. It's no gun slanging going on this side of town. None at all.
Especially in that little area right there. No,
Yeah,
not
you
by
will
the
fuck
mall,
around and catch
Louisiana.
you will fuck around and be in Angola, even brandishing a gun down there.
Yeah, don't folks don't play that bullshit around there at all.
Between the Vultures and the Bleeders in Baton Rouge, check out the earlier videos I did about this.
Hey, bro, look at True Bleeder, bro. He look like a little child, brother.
Facts.
I'm talking about look like a little child, my nigga. And how he was when this shit happened to him?
18.
18, bro. Damn.
Gang war on my other channels, but for the purposes of this video, let's keep things short. According to Reddit historians, the beef between these two gangs was a result of the Bleeders affiliating with gangs that the Vultures were already beefing with. One of these gangs is known as SOG, or Sleep or Grind, from Sherwood.
That's the one I had on the right side.
They look like they're in the horseshoe right over there.
Yup, they in the horse. Yup.
Yeah.
According to some theories, things escalated after the Vultures would rob one of SOG's members of their chain, which they would then brag about on social media, with an original Reddit post from the 19th of April 2021 showing the Vultures rapper YKWHIFV posting a picture of the chain together with the caption.
And that's Vay he talking about, right?
Yup, he fucking his shit up.
Yeah.
What's this? This would allegedly cause an SOG member called Sherwood Marty, an old affiliate of TBG members like G Money, to put a bounty on Vultures members' heads. And only 4 days later, on the 23rd of April, a man named Aaron Batiste, also known as Zit from the Vultures, was shot and killed on the 12,000 block of Plank Road after he had just celebrated his 29th birthday. His killer was seemingly never caught, but the Bleeders would take part in dissing him.
That's dude right there, huh? Yeah.
Yup, that's him.
Like the rapper Hotboy Do, who would make an Instagram caption thanking God for letting him see 20 because he knew someone who had died on their birthday. The revenge would seemingly come only 2 days later when 25-year-old
Baton Rouge police have identified a man unalived in a shooting on Prescott Drive Sunday night. Devontae Ennis, 25, was killed in a shooting that happened around 7:40 p.m. in the 4700 block of Prescott Drive near the intersection of Beechwood Drive.
He from that city. He from Zion City. Him. A lot of shit got put down behind that too. You hear me? Yeah, Zion City went crazy after dude got hit.
Police say Ennis was shot multiple times while inside of a car. No other information about the shooting was immediately available, including the suspect or motive.
Devonta Ennis, aka Vitae from the Bleeders, was gunned down on the north side, and his alleged killer was arrested and eventually even convicted of this murder before the conviction was ultimately overturned in 2025. But regardless of who was really behind this murder, the Bleeders blamed the Vultures, and what followed was a brutal wave of alleged back-to-back revenge killings, which would also eventually drag in the NBA 4K Trey crews directly into this deadly rivalry. The first get back took place on October 2021, when 25-year-old Jermorius Ferguson, a brother of the Vulture rapper YKWHIFV, and another member.
I ain't had nothing to do with that. That shit shocked BR too, bro.
So Lil, he was just a casualty of war, but he wouldn't even out here living like
Dude
that.
was actually one of them people. You know what I mean?
All right.
He was one of them people, and dude was in a service too. You heard me? Like he used to be involved in community shit, like working with kids and doing shit like that. But he just got brought into. What up, D? He got brought into his brother's shit, and he got shot, and a nigga died 7 months later from wound complications.
Damn.
Shit, man.
Rest in peace to that young
Dude was a
brother.
goodly dude, though, bro.
Known as Debug, was outside of a home in East Baton Rouge when someone shot at him from a passing vehicle, injuring him seriously, and he would eventually pass away months later. The police later noted that they didn't consider Ferguson to have been the intended target of the shooting, perhaps implying that V or Debug might have been the actual targets of the shooting. Later that month, the Bleeders allegedly struck again when 23-year-old Malakar
That's
Demulin,
Vape brother. That's Vape big brother.
The one excuse me, I was reading something. But you talking about the little fella who was a part of that?
Yeah, that's Vape big brother.
All right.
And you saw his obituary,
known as the rapper YKWHIF Car, was shot in his car in a Holiday Inn parking lot.
Yeah.
This was followed 3 days later by the murder of the rapper and SO.
But this nigga got a long ass head.
That's dude. That's a nigga I was into it with. That's the mall shit.
Nigga points down at the mall.
Yeah, that's him.
All right.
G member Mugotti, real name Jamonte Davis. At this point, 4K Trey were already indirectly involved in the beef through their close connections with certain Vultures members and their rivalry with the 300 Alliance, who in turn had become affiliated with the Bleeders, and who at this point weren't just directly beefing with the YoungBoy's brothers gang, the DHG, but also openly dissing 4K Trey members, like the 300 rapper Rel Bang, rapping in the August 2020 song Smoke Talk how he plans on hitting Ben 10 from NBA with 10 bullets. However, it would end up being the next incident that would get the 4K Trey crew directly involved, as YoungBoy's right-hand man, Ben 10, and his cousin, Marvin Batiste, were shot at while driving on a highway in Prairieville, just southeast of Baton Rouge. The shooting, which police quickly determined to be a targeted act of retaliation, left Ben, the apparent target, wounded, while his cousin Marvin was killed. The Bleeders would seemingly hint at being responsible a few months later, as Bleeder member 40 Glock U rapped on the song Gator Pack how someone got killed but the target had been Ben. Ben would reply to the dissing, saying how his cousin was not in the streets and therefore didn't deserve to be killed.
Yeah, thinking they really something. Hey, my cousin was a football player. He ain't carry no gun. You kill somebody who needs to like this real. He know how to fight. That's it. Never shot nobody, never popped no, never did no gangster. Man, you ain't never seen no real, yeah. I'm a headhunter. That was my cousin. Come on, man. I'm just getting tired of every song, every Instagram talk about my cousin. Man, bro, that was not like that. You know I'm at every day. You know what? I'm in every day. Like, be for real. We ain't thinking. You want to post your people. We post ours, long live them. Post yours.
Still, later in December, another alleged cousin of Ben 10, 25-year-old Darius Joseph, also known as Jug the Ghost from the Vultures, was seemingly killed. Now, there are no news reports about his murder, but on the day of his death, there was a drive-by shooting that reportedly killed one. And
What you said?
I say dude was living like that. That nigga Jug.
Where you from?
Jug from Banks. Jug
Bank?
actually just got out on the head too.
Injured too, one of those possibly being Jug, who then died later that night, while the person who was immediately reported dead was 62-year-old Walter White, who according to the news reports was not the intended target. For Ben 10, Jug's death was seemingly...
Hey, I remember that shit, boy. That shit had pissed a lot of people off up there in that top.
Yep.
You know, man, dude was somebody. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That shit had a lot of people pissed off up there.
Dude was like that, bro. Dude was like that.
The final straw. In his 2023 song Make 'Em Step, Ben 10 rapped how he had been spending his money on cars.
You remember that? They say they putting shit up for cuz a nigga turning in his casket.
Yeah.
Remember Duce? Long live Jug the Ghost, but he was capping in his live. Them youngins stalked him out for hours and they set one in his mind. Yeah, that's him.
And dropping bags for Jug, seemingly implying that he had put money on people's heads to avenge Jug's death.
Did you know that in Texas, rifles can be carried in public without a license, whereas in Florida, no open carrying is allowed, except...
During the funeral for Jug, on the other hand, one Vultures member would say to the camera how they're going 5 for 5, adding how 1 was down and 4 was hiding. That 1 perhaps referring to the dead Bleeders member Vitae, while the 4 remaining Bleeders members who the Vultures were targeting would soon become clear. Still, in December 2021, Ben 10 would get into a heated argument on Clubhouse with the Bleeders' most popular rapper, 18-year-old True Bleeder, real name Dante Dorsey, during which True Bleeder would accuse Ben of being a fake gangster who hadn't shot or killed anyone.
Gangsters on my with a hat. Who you ever shoot? I ain't kill nobody. Stop talking like that, damn. Man, I'm a whole hoe. You can't talk like that, man. I'm a hoe. You talk like that, cause why? I'm a hoe. Where I met though. I'm a but where I met though. Never did. It don't matter. I'm a hoe. We know that already, bro. And they never did nothing but talk good as a
Man, that was a funny ass line. Nigga told that boy, well, you ain't gotta tell us you a hoe. We know that.
They be them same niggas getting whooped from South. Who said that us kicking 10? Who said that? Go with them.
Then in January 2022, the Bleeders released what was perhaps their most disrespectful song and music video yet, Pick Your Partner Up, a direct shot at the Vultures. In the song, True Bleeder's brother, Co-Bleeder, aka Oakboy Coco, would rap how he will switch the Vultures down to see if they can really fly, while another Bleeder rapper called Peasy would rap how they've been killing their ops ever since Vitae died, implying how they had indeed been behind many murders against the Vultures. But their luck was about to run out, and on the 25th of February, while True Bleeder, Co-Bleeder, and some of their friends were leaving the Mall of Louisiana after a shopping spree, they were ambushed by what seemed like a planned assassination crew, who arrived with 2 cars and opened fire on the car of True Bleeder and the others, killing True Bleeder and his friend Cliff, real name Clifton Lindsay, on the scene, while injuring 2 others, and a gruesome video showing the aftermath of the hit was captured at the scene. Interestingly, after this truly shocking incident, it wasn't the Vultures who were doing most of the dissing, but rather none other than YoungBoy's 4K Trey crew personally. YoungBoy's brother, B-Way Youngie, would post a story right after the incident saying LOL with a laughing emoji, and also seemingly trolling everyone by liking a tribute post made for Bleeder. B-Way had a very personal reason to hate True Bleeder, as he had allegedly been shot by him in the past. Ben 10, who had just been arguing with True Bleeder online a few months earlier, posted himself on Instagram listening to True Bleeder's music and filmed himself walking in the...
Remember I was telling y'all that shit months ago?
Yep. And this shit happened before Harley King, huh?
Yeah, that shit happened before Harley.
Yeah.
At Mall of Louisiana, while taunting how he can't go out like them other boys.
And I go out like them other boys. 3 deep, you heard me? So I sent Nell through some shoes. He got like, no. I got Tay with me, cause I can't go out like them other boys. Yeah, man. Yeah, right. It's the ground. What's up, gangster? Yeah, that's Lamb. I ain't on location in that, man. Being in the mall. Yeah, I'm being
4K Trey members would also reference the incident in their music. NBA Big B rapped in the song I Go, featuring P. Youngin, how they caught their ops slipping and killed 2, but all of them should have died. Herm's entire verse on the song, Soul Snatcher with Big B, can also be seen as a reference to the killing of True Bleeder, as he raps how they got the drop up on them boys, and how the ops friends had been crying on Instagram afterward, which seems to be a reference to the Bleeders rapper 5'4" Don Dada. Herm also rapped how it was all fun and games when their ops were claiming the murder of his friend, which could be a reference to Marvin or Jug. But then the tables turned, as Herm gave money to some young members to slide back, seemingly referencing the murder of True Bleeder and Cliff. Fans even speculated that YoungBoy himself was referencing True Bleeder's murder in the song 4K Trey Baby, where he first states how his crew are killing or zipping their ops in the gang war before describing sending 30 shots through somebody's car door. Not just describing exactly what happened, but also seemingly taking responsibility for sending this hit, while the music video for the song begins with a scene that seems to portray 4K Trey member Who Gang D giving YoungBoy's instructions to 2 masked up shooters, who then pull off a drive-by like the very one that killed True Bleeder. Then, in April 2022, a few months after the gruesome double murder, the Vulture member Debug, real name Demetrion Grimm, whose brother Gmo had allegedly been killed by the Bleeders, was arrested and charged with the murders of True Bleeder and Cliff. However, in a surprising turn of events, which echoed what had happened to Boozilla's killers, the police couldn't find enough evidence, and the grand jury declined to formally charge him for the shooting, and he would continue to live the good life, traveling the country with his brother YKWHIFV, who seemed like he was about to sign a deal with YoungBoy's NBA label. Meanwhile, on Reddit, the online sleuths would gather lists about all the people who had allegedly been on the True Bleeder hit, these allegedly including both Debug and his brother, the Vulture's rapper V, 4K Trey member Who Gang Tay Life, and 2
Yo, you there, brother? Oh, bit.
other Vultures members called 1012 and CJ, as well as another 4K Trey member called Oaktown J, also known by the menacing name Headstone, who according to some Redditors actually plays one of the shooters in YoungBoy's 4K Trey Baby music video. But while the charges against Debug wouldn't stick, he too would eventually meet street justice, as he was killed in a 2024 triple shooting that we'll discuss more later. But meanwhile, after the murders of True Bleeder and Cliff, it would only take a few months for another body to drop, as 4K Trey's old rivals, the TMH gang, would end up losing another member.
My little nigga right there.
On the 28th of March 2022, at around 4 p.m.
That was my real life little nigga right there. Little Fred, man. Little short bitch. Little 5 foot nigga, bro. Bitch about 5 foot flat, you hear me? That was my little nigga. Before it was TMH, our group was called GOG. We was Grind a Grave in middle school. You hear me? It was called Grind a Grave. It was me and Monkey, who y'all seen in the video earlier. Like I said, I got the picture to show y'all. It was me, him, and Fred. We was GOG. Then as we started to, break apart from school, shit, niggas got involved with other niggas, and them niggas got involved in murders. And so they clashed up and called themselves Too Many Hitters. So that's the history on Lil Fred, you hear me?
And Debug, he was like a accident or some shit, huh?
Yeah, JJ hit Debug in back of the head by accident. And nigga stood over JJ out there. That's Herm, little cousin. That's how the beef started with Vultures and 4K Trey.
All right.
"20-year-old Frederick Harris, also known as TMH Free Throw, an alleged member of the Too Many Hitters gang who had been beefing with NBA and 4K Trey for years, was on Birch Street in the Northdale neighborhood when someone opened fire, hitting him multiple times. Free Throw would die at the scene, while the unknown shooter would flee the area."
Thank you, Brian. We start this morning with breaking news from overnight. Baton Rouge police now identifying a man gunned down in senseless violence that happened yesterday.
Police say 20-year-old Frederick Harris was shot multiple times yesterday on Birch Street, which near Scenic Highway, just after 4 p.m. Officers say Harris died on scene and don't yet have a motive or suspect in custody. But if you have any information about the shooting, you're urged to call Crime Stoppers. That number is 344-7867.
The murder of Free Throw went unsolved for years 4K Trey members would diss him regularly, making it clear that they wanted at least the public to think that they were behind the hit. In the song Make 'Em Step, where Ben 10 also mentioned about dropping bags for Jug, he also rapped about giving $2,500 for a free throw, which fans would read as him literally paying $2,500 for the hit, although some thought that Ben's calculations were slightly off and he was actually talking about $25,000, not $2.5K, while others figured that plenty of young crash outs in the trenches were probably really willing to kill people for just a couple thousand. Ben 10's young 4K Trey homie Bossman would also diss Free Throw on an Instagram.
Niggas ain't even getting that for a bad.
There's any relation
Nah, for real.
unity or anything you just said. She's just a racist. And isn't she? You wouldn't dispute that.
It's not about her. It's not
And I want y'all to keep in mind, bro.
and supporting another white person. And it doesn't matter what she says.
All his receipts coming from these niggas, bro.
Literally all of them.
That's fine. You can support free speech, but you also have to be accountable for what you say.
And the nigga that they speaking on right there, the boss man nigga, let's also keep in mind, you hear me? He is actually YoungBoy's bodyguard right now on tour.
Some would say I am. I guess according
You
to
feel me?
I'm a white supremacist. I'm
These niggas crazy, bro.
Snippet while showing a video of himself seemingly digging a grave for him. And Gang D, aka Scully, would also diss him in music, rapping on the song Grave Digging Season that somebody shot the free throw like it was basketball. The Bleeders, on the other hand, who were also close with TMH, were hinting on social media that they had gotten revenge for Free Throw, with Co-Bleeder writing on his Instagram story how they had sent a present to Free Throw from the afterlife. The get back that Co-Bleeder was talking about may have been a shooting in December 2022 when an alleged 4K Trey member named Oaktown J, aka Headstone, real name Jamal Abdul Aziz, was shot in the Oakley Apartments located in Southeast Baton Rouge and taken to hospital in critical condition. According to hip-hop media sites,
God rest his soul, you hear me? Webb did that to him. That's the nigga got hit on the Nova by his partner during a dice game. Remember, a nigga had fucked around, shot dude in his neck at the dice game. But that was Webb. But Webb was putting shit up. You hear me? But Webb partner killed him though, unalived him one day.
But do you understand that makes you a despicable human being?
I guess so. I don't really care. I mean,
Jay had been released from jail only days before the shooting, while he would eventually pass away from complications related to the shooting, with some Reddit sources claiming that he had gotten sick at the hospital while recovering from his gunshot wounds. But that wouldn't prevent his ops from claiming the kill and dissing him with TMH and the Bleeders member Teflon Webby, aka Web the Block, who according to online detectives was one of the people behind the shooting, rapping in one of his songs how he got get back for Lil Friezo, another nickname for Free Throw. Meanwhile, another TMH member, TMH 32 Shots, aka Monkey, the person who some believed was responsible for shooting up YoungBoy's grandmother's house years earlier, posted on social media in March 2024 how it didn't matter how long it took and people were going to die for Free Throw. Free Throw's alleged killer was eventually caught in 2025, turning out to be 31-year-old Joseph Jacobs, who is an alleged 4K Trey affiliate known as Quell, with 4K Trey members like Pistol P posting free him on social media following the arrest. A very interesting thing to post, since some people on Reddit had accused Pistol P himself of being responsible for the murder of Free Throw, and another unsolved murder we'll discuss later. But by this point, it was already the third body in 2022 that people were pinning on 4K Trey, now amounting to a grand total of 12 murders. As previously mentioned, by the end of 2022, YoungBoy's body count in his music had grown to 12 bodies and 1 child, as he made clear on his song This Not a Song, This For My Supporters. Several more murders would take place in the latter part of 2022, however it's likely that some of these murders occurred after YoungBoy recorded music referencing 12 bodies that didn't end up getting rolled out until after more murders had actually happened. For example, in May 2023, on the track I Want His Soul that was released on his Richest Op mixtape, YoungBoy's body count was still at 12, with YoungBoy promising to make it 13. Ironically, it was around this time that I was working on my original YoungBoy documentary, Real Killer or Fake Gangster. However, at the time, there were still many gaps in my body count, which was much less accurate than in this video. And at the time, I came to the conclusion that perhaps YoungBoy might have been embellishing the murders in his music, or at least broadly claiming the crimes of others as his own. However, as many in the comments on a Reddit post about this perspective noted, none of YoungBoy's enemies other than King Von had come out to talk down on YoungBoy's reputation as a murder man, which many people believed spoke volumes. Indeed, it seems there was perhaps more truth to YoungBoy's lyrics than anybody first thought, but unfortunately for his enemies, he was far from done. In fact, things were just heating up, and only a few months later, another rival would end up dead.
Man, it's like, bro.
Parents of children who play Roblox. If your child was sexually exploited,
Yeah, damn, hold
abused,
up.
or pressured to share explicit content by someone they met on
Dude, baby
Roblox,
mama going
you
through
may
it right now.
qualify to file a claim. Estimated
Hold
compensation.
up.
On the 5th of June,
That
All
little
right.
nigga there, his baby mama going through it right now. His baby mama is actually the one who just lost her sister in New Orleans. First your baby daddy, now your sister just got shot on some random shit. Rest in peace, Destiny, man.
Oh, so that yeah, you did say that the other night.
Yep,
Did
that's the
somebody
chick
post her like on the ground fighting for her
losing her
life?
life, taking her last breath. Yep, yep.
24-year-old Deontay Veal was gunned down at his house in Winnebago Street near Plank Road in broad daylight around 4:15 p.m.
Baton Rouge police are investigating two shootings that happened less than a mile apart from each other. Police say 24-year-old Deontay Veal was shot and killed on Winnebago Street. That's right off of Plank Road. We're told this happened at around 4:15 this afternoon. Veals died at the scene.
In the streets, Veal was known as Didi Blanco from a hood known as Darkside on the north side of Baton Rouge, but he was also close with a crew known as 60 Gang, both of these gangs being affiliated with the Bleeders. Didi's murder was one of 4 shootings that happened in that area within just 20 hours, but it's not clear if any of these incidents were related. Once again, 4K Train members weren't holding back when it came to dissing their newest dead op, with Who Gang D immediately posting on his Instagram story a picture of him with Ben 10 and his cousin Marvin, together with the caption, "Go pick that dude up." In his December 2022 song Crash Out, D also rapped how he has Didi in his blunt and blood in his eyes. But perhaps the most telling lyrics came from Who Gang Taylife, aka Taysky, who rapped in his May 2023 song Lonely how they killed someone on his own street. While in his 2024 song Creature, he seems to even admit that the shooter was him, rapping how they did him bad in his yard. Yet another Who Gang member called Dre Life took the disrespect to a new level in his 2024 song Don't, where he rapped how Didi had been shot in the head so bad his whole face was gone. No wonder then that 4K Trey and particularly Who Gang are commonly considered to have been behind this murder in online rumors. And after Didi's murder, it would take less than a week before they would allegedly strike again.
Another one of my
T
childhood
Measy,
fathers.
real name Tremaine Phillips, was another alleged TMH, aka Too Many Hitters member, whose murder had been
Notice all of them TMH. Another one of my little childhood partners. Good fighting little bitch too. Good fighting little motherfucker. I actually got the video on my phone, him knocking on Morrow in Glen Oaks, you hear me? I gotta send that shit to you. But this that's little TMH monkey. That's his cousin. He from that oak too.
And like all y'all started out what it was called, Grind the Grave, GOG.
GOG. Yep, it was just 2 of us. It was me and Monkey. Me and Monkey had did that shit on some little bullshit, just some little, some little school clique shit. And Fred came and shit. When we end up getting out of school, niggas got distant and shit. He used to come by my house on his story and all that, but he ended up running with some other little niggas. Measy, his cousin. I knew Measy from out of Glen Oaks though. So we
Right.
started running with Measy, Well, Joker, and them niggas formed they shit to Too Many Hitters, cause them niggas got to getting in some, gangster shit. And so niggas say we go call ourselves TMH now.
connected to YoungBoy's 4K Trey Gang. On the 11th of June 2022, Team Measy and another man were out in front of a corner store on the 4000 block of Gus Young Avenue when someone opened fire on them, hitting Team Measy fatally and critically injuring the other man.
BRPD also investigating this shooting that killed one man and sent another to the hospital.
He got caught
Police
in the
say the
park.
shooting happened just before
think
10 this
T-Measy
morning
really
in front of a store on
he
Gus
really from
Young
Glen Oaks,
Avenue,
if I
not
ain't
far
mistaken.
from North Far.
Oh, from that oak, he just got caught sitting in the park. All right.
Yeah.
Drive. Investigators say 23-year-old Tremaine Phillips died. A 26-year-old man was injured. and Newsom 6.
After the murder, gruesome images were posted online, allegedly showing a fallen motorcycle and what was left of Measy's head on the pavement after he'd been allegedly hit in the face with a switch, with one Redditor accurately describing him as having his whole head blown off. His friends like the Bleeders rapper Ruger Rudy and TMH rapper TMH Joker paid tribute to Measy soon after his death and threatened to get back, while his ops like the Vultures member CJ began immediately dissing. One Instagram account specialized in the war between TBG and 4K Trey even posted DMs between Measy and someone else, where the other person appeared to threaten to kill Measy, but it's not clear who this person was. However, according to another Redditor, Who Gang Taylife had posted right after Measy's death that he had been the last person to see him, essentially implying that he had been the shooter. While a few months after the murder, he posted a picture on Instagram with the caption, "Stood over old boy and watched his head jump," which people believed was a reference to the shooting of Measy and the graphic picture that was taken at the scene. In his September 2022 song called Why Me, Taylife would even rap how he had to make sure that he hit someone in the head and how his head was bouncing like a basketball in the NBA 2K video game. These lyrics seemingly referencing either the murder of T-Measy or Didi Blanco, which have both been connected to Taylife in online rumors. In his 2024 song Op Shopping, Taylife would also rap how he caught someone coming out of the store, which seemingly happened with Measy, who was indeed killed in front of the corner store. YoungBoy's brother B-Way, on the other hand, rapped in a freestyle during his vlog with the Taboo Room with Aaron S, where he mentioned someone trying to get away with a bike before getting shot in the face, which seemed to be yet another reference to Measy, who died next to a motorcycle.
With the tape, Chris got it on prank. On that, you can't escape. Got hit all in the face, go pick him up for it's too late. And I try to keep my cool, but I'm dying behind my name. Them chopper bullets bang, yeah. All you see is flames, yeah. Brother,
Hey, is he signing NBA?
I don't think he signed to him, you heard me? I don't think he signed to him.
But that's his little brother though.
Yeah, that's his blood brother through his dad. He actually got a little sister look just like his motherfucking ass too, through his daddy. Like the little girl look just like B-Way. The shit is scary. Matter of fact, that's the one P Youngin got pregnant.
Oh, that's cold.
Yeah, P Youngin got 2 babies with her.
He better stay and let her cross that river.
That's his best bet.
this one bust it back, and we on your.
Also, NBA's Ben 10 has been connected to T-Measy's murder, and that's not all, because according to some, Ben 10 has actually been the one to finance every one of the past 5 murders that I've mentioned, from True Bleeder and Cliff to Free Throw to Didi Blanco and finally T-Measy. Meanwhile, TMH were looking for get back by any means necessary, and even people in jail weren't safe, with TMH 32 Shots, aka Monkey, who had allegedly shot up YoungBoy's grandmother's house back in the day, posted a video on his Instagram story seemingly showing the aftermath of him stabbing someone for Measy in jail.
It was crazy.
Big
Joe ain't got no eye no more. He can't see.
Put dude on the gate.
I suppose I ain't gonna troll no more, bro. But all you out there playing, supposed to be my partners, ain't Joseph, man. You're getting thug, you fall around, man. All the ops who play, you're talking, and everybody you know is gonna catch up with you. So you better choose the sidewalk.
There had already been about half a dozen people killed in 2022 alone who were connected to YoungBoy's 4K Trey, but in September, they would allegedly catch their biggest score of the year as they would once again go against their oldest rival TBG, taking the life of one of their most beloved members.
Big 7.
In 2022, the feud between 4K Trey and TBG would flare up once again, and another rising Baton Rouge rapper, who was a big name in TBG, would end up losing his life. Seven Hardaway was already 33 years old and by no means a newcomer in rap, but he'd been recently making some moves in the early 2020s that had put him on the map when it came to up-and-coming rappers from Baton Rouge, often dropping music with his good friends and TBG label mates Fredo Bang and Lit Yoshi, whose music careers had all been gaining momentum due to their viral beef with YoungBoy. Like other TBG rappers, Seven Hardaway had also taken part in dissing YoungBoy, prime example being his December 2020 song Treason, which he would begin by rapping about YoungBoy's early days when he was still.
Let me stop the world and rewind it back to 2015 by Brandon Wine when I was scooping you in SUVs. I used to tell you, boy, you was talented to get that money, fuck fame. You disregarded my advice and got lost in this game.
Cool with TBG, saying how he tried to coach him but YoungBoy disregarded his advice and got lost in the rap game. He would also belittle YoungBoy for having beefs with famous people like Floyd Mayweather and Jay Prince, telling him that he's acting stupid, illiterate, and immature, as well as later dissing YoungBoy's use of auto-tune, his lack of street cred, and his hunger for clout, saying that he can't rap and that he never did anything in these streets, inferring that his whole demonic persona is fake. In August 2022, Hardaway released an EP called Transition, where he continued the dissing, like on the song Sinister, where he would diss YoungBoy by saying that while his albums are doing good, his partners back in Baton Rouge are getting killed. After hearing about these lyrics, NBA Big B would comment asking who died, insinuating that nobody from their side had been killed recently. However, just a month later, someone would end up dead. On the night of Tuesday, September the 20th, Seven Hardaway was standing in the parking lot at the Sherwood Place apartment complex when he was approached by unknown assailants and fatally shot at close range.
Tonight, one person dead after a shooting on Sherwood Common Boulevard in Baton Rouge. Emergency officials tell us they found the body when they arrived at the scene.
The police were quick to determine that the homicide was gang-related, while TBG's ops would immediately begin dissing, with Vulture's rapper V posting on Instagram stories seemingly taunting TBG and laughing at Hardaway's death, while BBG member 4 Times would post a picture of their fallen friend BBG Iraq, seemingly implying that Hardaway had played a part in his death. Baton Rouge authorities once again struggled to identify the shooter, turning Hardaway's killing into yet another grim statistic in the city's ongoing gang wars. But in the online rumors, a certain gang was held responsible, based in particular on the location where Hardaway was killed, Sherwood Place Apartments on Sherwood Common Boulevard. This would lead many to believe that Hardaway had been killed by B-Way's DHG set, although their turf is technically further north in the actual Sherwood Forest and Broadmoor neighborhood. Fans were also quick to point out how Hardaway had been dissing B-Way a few years earlier too, with the two then clearly having a personal beef that went beyond just B-Way's affiliation.
Just Broadmoor is Broadmoor. That's not really Sherwood Forest.
It's not Sherwood.
Yeah. It ain't happening like that in Broadmoor. Like, no. Well, your ass going to jail and over there, bro.
Tell you fucking around over there in Goodwood and shit. Nah,
Yeah, well, your ass going to jail.
With YoungBoy and 4K Trey. Online sleuths would even point to one specific member of DHG, known as Sherwood Quest, a known shooter with deep ties to 4K Trey, and even seemingly to YoungBoy himself, with one Redditor even claiming that Quest is related to YoungBoy and B-Way as first cousins, while another one stated that everyone in the city know it was Sherwood Quest who killed Hardaway. YoungBoy himself, on the other hand, had some interesting lyrics in his 2023 song F the Industry Part 2, where he raps how a paid hitter came all the way from New Orleans to kill someone in them apartments, which some believe refers to Seven Hardaway, while others think this is actually pointing towards Boulevard Quick, as both of them were killed inside of an apartment complex. Ultimately, the kill count was now at a total of 15 by the end of 2022, and this was something that YoungBoy was ecstatic to get into the booth and brag about. While the song wouldn't release for more than a year after this murder, YoungBoy would later brag about having 15 bodies, alongside one of the most frequently suspected shooters in NBA 4K Trey, Herm the Black Sheep, aka Bobo. For the jaw-dropping song My Bobo, we would see YoungBoy and Herm rapping back-to-back, appearing in a music video in 2 slime green jumpsuits, with YoungBoy openly claiming that NBA were up 15 bodies at the time of the recording, and YoungBoy would be heard boldly claiming that he will have people blitzed in the streets or hit in jail. YB even seemed to suggest that he could tell you about 5 bodies that Herm had caught personally, and bragging that he goes on drills behind Herm, watches him walk people.
I'm not wagging any finger. I'm not.
Brother.
Yeah. You
Go
hear
back
me? Y'all
about
can hear me?
15. Yeah, go back 15 seconds. I was trying to give them some knowledge on one nigga who got involved, who was involved in the 7
killed
shit.
inside of an apartment complex. Ultimately, the kill count was now at a total of 15 by the end of 2022, and this was something that YoungBoy was ecstatic to get into the booth and brag about. While the song wouldn't release for more than a year
go
after
back
this
to where
murder,
they mentioned dude Quest. Like 15, 20 seconds. Right there.
Hardaway released an EP called Transition, where he continued the dissing, like on the song Sinister, where he would diss YoungBoy by saying that while his albums are doing good, his partners back in Baton Rouge are getting killed. After hearing about these lyrics, NBA Big B would comment asking who died, insinuating that nobody from their side had been killed recently. However, just a month later, someone would end up dead. On the night of Tuesday, September the 20th, Seven Hardaway was standing in the parking lot at the Sherwood Place apartment complex when he was approached by unknown assailants and fatally shot at close range.
Tonight, one person dead after a shooting on Sherwood Common Boulevard in Baton Rouge. Emergency officials tell us they found the body when they arrived at the scene.
Imagine being able to reach 15 million views on the first video of a new YouTube channel. You start at 0 subscribers. Imagine that video attracts 5 million views in its first month and a half.
The police were quick to determine that the homicide was gang-related, while TBG's ops would immediately begin dissing, with Vulture's rapper V posting on Instagram stories seemingly taunting TBG and laughing at Hardaway's death, while BBG member 4Times would post a picture of their fallen friend BBG Iraq, seemingly implying that Hardaway had played a part in his death. Baton Rouge authorities once again struggled to identify the shooter, turning Hardaway's killing into yet another grim statistic in the city's ongoing gang wars. But in the online rumors, a certain gang was held responsible, based in particular on the location where Hardaway was killed, Sherwood Place Apartments on Sherwood Common Boulevard. This would lead many to believe that Hardaway had been killed by B-Way's DHG set, although their turf is technically further north in the actual Sherwood Forest and Broadmoor neighborhood. Fans were also quick to point out how Hardaway had been dissing B-Way a few years earlier too, with the two then clearly having a personal beef that went beyond just B-Way's affiliation with YoungBoy and 4K Trey. Online sleuths would even point to one specific member of DHG, known as Sherwood Quest, a known shooter with deep ties to 4K Trey and even seemingly to YoungBoy himself, with one Redditor even claiming that Quest is related to YoungBoy and B-Way as first cousins, while another one stated that everyone in the city know it was Sherwood Quest who killed Hardaway. YoungBoy himself, on the other hand, had some interesting lyrics in his 2023 song F the Industry Part 2.
Okay, so it's what I want to tell y'all about this slanging iron shit. You could be a slanging iron nigga, you heard me, but trust and believe what come with this slanging iron. You go have to go to jail, you might run across ops. This nigga here specifically, Sherwood Quest, end up going to jail. He hit the parish. And niggas whooped him and stuck their whole hand up his ass. It's facts. He fell online, nigga whooped him and put their hand up his ass. It's facts, you hear me? Good iron slanging niggas, and just for you to go to jail and nigga violate your ass. But yeah, that's what I want to say about dude. They played in his ass.
He raps how a paid hit.
You can play it, brother.
Came all the way from New Orleans to kill someone in them apartments, which some believe refers to Seven Hardaway, while others think this is actually pointing towards Boulevard Quick, as both of them were killed inside of an apartment complex. Ultimately, the kill count was now a total of 15 by the end of 2022, and this was something that YoungBoy was ecstatic to get into the booth and brag about. While the song wouldn't release for more than a year after this murder, YoungBoy would later brag about having 15 bodies, alongside one of the most frequently suspected shooters in NBA 4K Trey, Herm the Black Sheep, aka Bobo. For the jaw-dropping song My Bobo, we would see YoungBoy and Herm rapping back-to-back, appearing in a music video in 2 slime green jumpsuits, with YoungBoy openly claiming that NBA were up 15 bodies at the time of the recording, and YoungBoy would be heard boldly claiming that he will have people blitzed in the streets or hit in jail. YB even seemed to suggest that he could tell you about 5 bodies that Herm had caught personally, and bragging that he goes on drills behind Herm, watches him walk people down, with Herm doing people dirty on YB's orders, and YoungBoy expressing his excitement about watching the murders be reported on the news. Meanwhile, Herm would brag about never leaving clues and not being able to be caught, and he would go on to say that he tells YoungBoy about all the shootings that he's done for him, even outright claiming that he did the deed for YoungBoy and now he owes him one, eventually claiming that he will kill ops in front of them.
And I'm gonna show you something. I catch an op, and make them lead. That's how we booming. 1, 2, 2, 3. I catch him bad and unalive him in front of his mama.
Mothers. The song was one of the most flagrant and detailed instances of self-snitching in his whole career, and it makes you wonder how on earth these two actually had the confidence to release such a self-incriminating track, considering the rumors circulating in the streets. However, this was a public show that YoungBoy still had hitters like Herm in his corner, who were willing to do anything, and I mean anything, to protect YoungBoy and the NBA empire. Herm would raise eyebrows again in 2025 during the Massa tour, when he would claim in an interview with Mogul State of Mind that he would do anything for YoungBoy, including tie his shoes or open doors if asked.
It can't be too hard to hold a door open. Man, you can't be too hard, bro, to, you know what I'm saying, bro, close the door. Yeah. Man, like, what the, man, like, I don't give a if his shoe coming tight, bro, shit, I'm gonna tie that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do to make this be how the fuck it's supposed to be. That's real. Man, from he a millionaire. He ain't got to be able to open up doors.
Now I get what Hearn was saying, but I don't get what he was saying. Man, shout out Monk on the board again with the 99-cent super chat.
Salute Monk. Salute
Man,
Monk.
appreciate you, Hearn.
Appreciate you. Appreciate that love, bro.
Real shit. On the board twice, man. Now I get what Hearn was saying, but I don't get what Hearn was saying. I ain't tying on niggas' shoes because he a millionaire. But I do understand what he's saying. I do.
Yeah, he kind of oversauced that shit. Like, yeah, that's kind of.
That's what I
Yeah.
do understand. You know, millionaires got the funds work businesses and you know, them type of motherfuckers. But Brian finna be out here putting blood in the street and tying your shoes, my nigga. I think we owe me a little bit more than that though.
Come on, man. You
I'm
can't
putting in
leave
work
it,
for this
nigga.
shit. Yeah. I'm putting in work for this shit though.
If it start raining, if it got an umbrella, if it start raining, got umbrella, shoot my mobile. You know what I'm saying, man? Like, you can't be too gangster, too hard to understand, man, bro. At the end of the day, bro, you gotta protect the brand, bro. See, for everything happened because of him, so man, if he ain't straight, he man, fucking not straight. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
He would go on to explain why he has so much loyalty to YoungBoy, claiming that if he wasn't in NBA, he would most likely be dead or in jail.
So let me ask you this. So, like, if you weren't NBA, where do you feel like your life would be right now?
I'd probably be dead. Or probably in jail. Probably in jail.
Realistically, YoungBoy's talent through music was both fueling the violent wars in the streets that he came from, but also providing lucrative opportunities for those gun-toting crash-outs in his orbit who would have had nothing better to do than lay their lives on the line for YoungBoy. YoungBoy was loyal to his people, and his people were so loyal to him in return, there was nothing they wouldn't do, from tying his shoes, to assassinations, to sitting down for life in prison if it meant protecting the man at the top of the mountain. And even after 15 souls had been taken to protect that man, things were far from over. Going into 2023, the 4K Trey killers had been getting more active than ever, and most likely, the count was already well on its way to the jaw-dropping 19 bodies that YoungBoy would claim in 2024. Sherwood extended.
Oh, brother.
Again, how do we call him a fed when we got motherfuckers saying shit like that? You know, I got 19 bodies. Like, how do we, like, everything he posted, like, he actually not doing no insinuating. He just reposting what they saying.
Yep. I got something on this here too. This situation right here. This extendo nigga.
Yeah.
This actually plays a big part up in Maine and TEC beef too. Yep, this plays a big part up in that shit too. You hear me? Reason being, so this dude that y'all looking at right now is, of course, Sherwood Extendo. Of course, he's from Sherwood. This cat here so happens to be TC's nephew. So again, this is TC's nephew. Main Music is running with the niggas who allegedly unalived this dude here. You feel me? The nigga who allegedly unalived him is a nigga who he out the gang that Main Music be, you know, saluting and shit. And keep in mind, this is his right hand man. This is his best friend's nephew. But yeah, brother.
Extendo, real name Courtney Brown, was a nephew of a rapper known as Tech, who is a member of an alleged gang known as Spider Gang, as well as the head of his own record label known as Spider Nation. However, the label and the gang might not exactly be strictly separate enterprises, as according to a recent October 2025 indictment, several people from the label were arrested and charged in a large-scale drug bust by the Baton Rouge police. These people not including the rapper Tech himself though. Sherwood Extendo was an old acquaintance of YoungBoy, as the two had done music together all the way back in 2016 when Extendo went by the rapper name Low Key Extendo. Tech also explained in his interview with Real Tune TV how every rapper in Baton Rouge was cool with each other in the beginning before the fame came, saying that he would also be in the studio with YoungBoy.
Like if you just watch and pay attention, you can see like YoungBoy was with G Money at one point. You know what I'm saying?
He used to be in the studio with us too.
Yeah.
Like he used to, like when I first met him, he was in the studio with Scotty Kane. He used to be in the studio with him. He was about to sign with him.
He was from New Orleans though, huh? Scotty Kane?
He from BR too. I've been knowing him since I was like 13. I'm telling you, like since I was the porch, like when I, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, I'm really surprised Jonah B didn't come up in this whole little ordeal.
I was surprised about that shit too.
I ain't see Jonah B come up at all.
I was highly surprised at this shit.
For unaliving or being for unaliving someone or being unalive. I ain't see Jonah come up. That's crazy.
I've been knowing him. Like that's so small, bro. Everybody know everybody. It's just the fame really set up. When they started to get a spotlight, everybody wanted to be that. So it was like we all fighting for it, like crabs in a bucket, trying to climb to the top, pull each other down. Like
And see, I respect the fact that he said we.
Yep.
Touchdown, Georgia. Let's go. But I respect the fact that Tech said we and not separating himself from everybody trying to climb to the top. I actually respect that. Shout out to TC for that.
Facts.
Like the TBG rappers Fredo Bang and G Money, Tech and his partner Main Music, also of Spider Nation, were slightly older than YoungBoy and had been in the industry for years. Tech originally being signed to Master P's legendary No Limit imprint in the early 2010s, as well as later having buzz from songs like his 2016 hit Go Crazy with his partner Main Music. But after YoungBoy's career blew up, slowly a beef between the two would begin developing, with Tech seemingly choosing the side of TBG in the war that had taken over the city. As Tech also had personal friendships with many people that 4K Trey had allegedly killed, such as TMH 3 Throw from the Too Many Hitters gang, who Sherwood Extendo was also heavily affiliated with, even sometimes being called TMH Extendo, as well as from gangs like TBG, one of the biggest ones of course being none other than G Money, with Tech dropping the song Through the Storm G Mix in April 2018 to pay tribute to his fallen friend G Money. And so the dissing would eventually get increasingly more and more public, like later in 2018 when Tech threw shade at YoungBoy for having herpes.
she like, you from where? I'm like, I'm from Baton Rouge. She like, where YoungBoy from? I'm like, yeah. She like, oh, like, what you mean? She, don't that boy got herpes or something? Y'all got that shit out there, whoop the whoop.
Eventually, this would turn into a beef against the whole of the NBA and 4K Trey.
You's a, like I say, you a sheep, I'm a wolf. It's two difference. Better stay in your mother league, old out of 4K Trey. Y'all 40 times 30. Old as a man. Stupid, man. On a lit dude. Y'all got a daddy that's 20 years old.
Who is he talking about?
He talking about Herm. Him and Herm had real smoke. He actually was beefing with Banks. Yeah, he got real smoke with Banks on some personal shit.
That was Herm from Bankstown?
Yeah, Herm from Banks.
I be mad as a bitch too. You I'd do anything to be down, man.
These affiliations and rivalries would come to their culmination in May 2023 when Tech would go live on Instagram and seemingly begin to diss YoungBoy once again after a fan would bring his name up.
Here I'm just speaking on like everything that's going on. Everything I'm gonna say gonna be some real. So get your little ugly, song, little cricket looking right now. Give a fuck about you or your favorite rapper. From both of y'all, don't you? Know one thing, they scared of luau. I'm a one-man army. I'm just gonna bang. I ain't going for this.
Nah, I disagree with you right there. I ain't nobody scared of you, but nigga respect your gangster, but don't put that out there like that.
I'm telling you.
You know what I'm saying? Don't do that, Tick.
I'm
Nigga
telling you.
respect your gangster though.
No, I ain't with that. And God really on shit like, yeah, free or kill it. On your belly.
Later that month, Sherwood Extendo was driving in his hometown, stopping at the red lights at the intersection of Gus Young Avenue and North Arcadian Thruway when someone opened fire at him through the passenger side window, hitting him multiple times, after which Extendo's car would crash into a utility pole.
Today we learned the name of person shot and killed along North Acadian Thruway yesterday.
Oh, that
Baton
looks
Rouge
like
police
Brooktown,
detectives
right
tell
there
us
by West
Courtney Brown
Brooktown.
Jr. was at a red light
Shit,
when someone
shit.
pulled up and started shooting.
Now I
Detectives are
can
still
see it
looking
on this
for the
Acadian
shooter.
right there
After
by,
Extendo's death
what's the
became
name, that
public, Tech
elementary
paid
school right
respects to his
there.
nephew on social media, as did TMH members like the rapper TMH Joker, while several YouTubers made videos about the peculiar timing of the murder so soon after Tech had just dissed YoungBoy.
I ain't saying YoungBoy got nothing to do with none of this, because he definitely don't. Way in Utah Hills, you heard me? Listen, R.I.P. Sherwood Extendo. Just 13 days after his uncle Tech dissed him, right? Not dissed him, he dissed YoungBoy.
On Reddit, the rumors would point towards the usual suspects when it came to 4K Trey, such as Who Gang Tay Life, who rapped in his 2024 song Big Creeper how he kills people and leaves them dead behind the wheel, which some fans saw as a reference to Extendo. And another post on Reddit would claim that 4K Trey member Pistol P was responsible for the murder of Sherwood Extendo, as well as 3 Throw from TMH, but providing no proof. However, officially, this murder remains unsolved, and with yet another body dropping, with the authorities dumbfounded as to exactly who was responsible, unsurprisingly, the killings would continue in the streets. And after a relatively less violent year in 2023, 2024 would see the violence ramp up once again, with at least 3 murders, which many attribute to the 4K Trey gang, led by YoungBoy. Dutt, real name Jawan Alexi, hailed from the Glen Oaks neighborhood, aka Oaktown, which was of course put on the map by the Bleeders a few years earlier, with Dutt allegedly being part of a subset of the Bleeders known as Soul Snatcher
Man,
Gang,
Glen Oaks
aka
has already
SSG.
made
It
it,
seems
bro.
that Dutt was a fan of YoungBoy when he was
We
younger,
had on
posting
this
the
bitch,
cover
huh?
of YoungBoy's early mixtape, Mind of a Menace
Nigga,
3,
we
on
made
his
it.
Instagram in 2016. But now Dutt was already a 30-year-old OG in his hood, and just as big of a rival of NBA and
Matter of
4K
fact,
Trey
y'all.
as any member of
Hold
the
on.
Bleeders or
Pause it,
other
brother.
affiliated gangs.
Gotcha.
On the 4th of January 2024,
Let me see. 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 Hold on, y'all.
Georgia is dog walking Alabama ass. 28-7.
That shit that they talking about right there, that's actually what dude got hit up at. The Dut nigga. Y'all looking at the bricks back there, you heard me? That's what dude got hit up. Right behind Ragusas.
That's Quita May.
Yup. That's what that shit that they finna speak on right now, that's what he got wet up at. Yeah, brother.
at around 2 p.m., Dutt and a group of other people were in front of the Urban Meadows apartments in their home turf of Glen Oaks when a car pulled up and multiple shooters got out and opened fire into the crowd, fatally hitting Dutt while also injuring 5 others.
We now know the name of the victim killed in a shooting along Greenwell Street yesterday. 30-year-old Jawan Alisi was shot to death in front of the Urban Meadows apartment. 5 other people were hurt in this and taken to the hospital. Baton Rouge police are looking into what led up to this shooting. If you know anything that can help, again, that number to call is Crime Stoppers at 344-STOP, 344-7867.
After the shooting, there were seemingly many rumors as to who were the other people who had gotten shot, with Bleeders members like Monwe Peso posting on his Instagram stories how he was fine a few days later. Co-Bleeder, on the other hand, would later post a cryptic story apologizing to Dutt for not making it to his funeral, while seemingly taking the blame for the shooting, implying that he had been there too. Meanwhile, already the following day after Dutt's passing, his family members posted a video on Instagram where they burned an NBA merch t-shirt while dissing them and seemingly implying that NBA and 4K Trey had been responsible for the shooting.
Whole lot of waste. Whole lot of waste. Yeah. That's how we come. Talking about never broke again, never get found.
It wouldn't take long until the Baton Rouge drill fans had seemingly gathered all the intel about everyone who had been present, while also saying that they had found the shooter, once again pointing to the prolific 4K Trey
Brother, it
member
was
Pistol
12
P,
little
who released a
niggas
song
jumped out
and
a
music
van,
video
brother.
aptly titled Murder the following.
What, that night?
No faking. It was at least 12 motherfuckers jumped out of van, gang. It was about 12 little niggas hopped out of the van. 4 niggas got wet up. They shot them. Man, they shot them bricks up so bad. You know, Cole got hit in that shit too. That's the shit got Cole can't. You know, Cole Bleeder can't really walk for real.
For real?
Yeah, that nigga walk with a like he got a fucking rod in his leg down there. Shit, that's the shit fucked his leg up. They had a video surfacing around. They had a video going around where all of it was laying on the ground in front of the door.
I
You hear me?
remember that. I did
Yeah,
see
that
that
was Cole in the
video.
back. That was Cole in the back saying, bend my leg, bend my leg. Like, nigga broke his shit. He was like, bend my leg, bend my leg. All them little niggas was laying in front of the door, wet up.
I do remember that shit, come to think about it.
Shit.
Let me ask you this. Is it Trap Lord Ross getting these niggas indicted? Or is the shit they put on their social media and their songs getting their ass indicted?
It's they self getting their ass indicted, and motherfuckers, the police send niggas like Trap Lord Ross to break down the content so they could basically say, well, we got it from him. Man, this shit that Trap Lord Ross is saying, Trap Lord Ross knows the police, my nigga. Is no way Trap Lord Ross either know a nigga in Baton Rouge or he's getting his information from the police, because it's a lot I ain't speaking on that, you know, we talked about on the back end that I've been telling you months ago, right or wrong.
Right, hell yeah.
We been knew who was doing all this shit. This man getting his information from the police, and they go have him put that shit out there, and they could piggyback off him like it was him that did it.
Yep.
That's all it is.
But the crazy part is, in the world we
Facts,
live
Bill.
in,
Facts, Bill. That's what I'm saying. The police have the same information. He getting that shit from the police, man.
Following month in February 2024, where he rapped how all he knows is murder and how he turned 5'4" Don Dada to some purple and how he lets down the window and gets to spraying. Other 4K Trey affiliates also kept dissing Dot on social media, like the rapper Linnell from the Creepers gang, who were also closely affiliated with the Who gang, with Nell dropping a song in May 2024 where he had rapped about killing the latest Red One, referring to a Bleeders affiliate, which some thought to be a diss towards Dot and a possible admission that he had took part in the hit. Clearly, Pistol Pete was gaining a reputation online as one of the most often suspected shooters in the modern day 4K Trey lineup. But again, with very little evidence to go on other than song lyrics, the authorities had little to go on, and in the streets,
Wait, who?
The Pistol P nigga and a nail nigga, they're just talking about you, hear me? Like,
They on tour with him right now?
Yeah, Nail actually in jail for a body. But the little Pistol P nigga is he on tour with YoungBoy. He YoungBoy, like you go see him every time YoungBoy walking, he don't want to be in front of YoungBoy, a little short, stubby nigga. He always in front of YoungBoy, moving the crowd around and shit. But yeah, dude that in Baton Rouge, you hear me? That little bitch, he that.
violence would continue, with another murder playing out the very same month.
You're the guy with the gun, the person who would do anything to protect the ones you love.
They go get that
simply
shit. They go get that shit together with or without Trap Lord Ross.
Harley Ken, real name Kenneth Ray Payne, was a man with a long history in the Baton Rouge music scene, from managing clubs to his own attempts at coming up as a rapper in the early 2010s to his long career as a manager for numerous artists, from early acts like Lil Fat and Scotty Kane, who had his own beef with YoungBoy back in the day, to contemporary artists affiliated with the TBG side of the war like the late True Bleeder, and TG Commas, another rapper affiliated with the Bleeders who's been having some major motion in recent years. Harley Ken was a businessman, but clearly he had chosen his side in the intertwined world of Baton Rouge's street politics and music industry. This hadn't come without consequences, because as Harley himself would once admit during one interview with Change of Plans YouTube channel, he had heard there was money on his head in the city due to his affiliations, but he wasn't bothered, as he had been in the streets of Baton Rouge for so long that he knew what came with it.
I've been in the same beef. I've been in the same, these trying to kill. I've been in this. That's why that bother me. Like, it don't bother me that they say, oh, you got a bag on your head, this. It bother me, because I've been in this. It's like, shit, go around my life. I ain't going to what he say. It's time. Whenever he says it's time, that's when I'm going to go. I don't feel nothing.
Harley was also no stranger to the street life. For example, in 2022, he was arrested in Austin, Texas on 3 felony warrants while carrying an AK-47 around a car dealership. On the 18th of January 2024, Harley was in LaPlace, about an hour's drive from Baton Rouge towards New Orleans. At around 8:30 p.m., officers would hear gunfire on Captain G. Bourgeois Street. When they rushed to the location, they found Harley slumped inside a vehicle, suffering from gunshot wounds. Paramedics attempted life-saving measures, but he couldn't be revived and was ultimately pronounced dead on the scene. The news about Harley's death would soon reach the Louisiana hip-hop news media, and soon after, the friends and foes would begin reacting on social media, with Bleeders members seemingly being left in shock, while some Vultures members would interestingly post pictures of their dead friend, YKWHIF Carr, as if implying that Harley's murder had been a get-back for Carr. One of the Vultures' most infamous shooters, known as 1012, posted a story on Instagram with his song Barefoot Vulture Mix, a remix of a song by TG Commas and Fredo Bang by 1012 raps what sound like unbelievably.
They tried to diss. We dropped a man's lucky 2 escaped and ran. Man, we got the 1 in advance. I'm coming for the business, man.
He arrested for the shooting at the palace that night. He the one hit up Bop. He smashed Bop. You hear me? He been in jail for Bop murder for like 4-5 months now. Dude out his mind too. But go listen at that Barefoot song. He gonna tell you exactly who he smashed.
Pointed lyrics towards Harley, saying how he's like coming for the businessman, as if they had already tried to kill Harley before. The post was also accompanied by a fishing rod emoji, the implication clearly being that the Vultures had caught something they'd been looking for. The rumor that the Vultures had killed Harley as a get-back for Carr would quickly gain legs on Reddit, with one alleged local from LaPlace adding that Harley was supposedly killed.
Wait, what? That's the little dude, the little rapper dude? It say Harley got unalive by a gang out of the St. James area that's affiliated with the Vultures behind the Vultures. I wouldn't say it was behind Kyle. I would say it was a power move to take an asset they needed off the board.
Yeah, facts. Like I was telling, his shit ain't got nothing to do with, like, it wasn't no Vultures or no NBA affiliates personally with him. That was on some other shit. That man got caught in LaPlace. You feel me? And to all the people watching right now, LaPlace is not a place that's slanging fire. It's murder everywhere. Yeah, granted, it's probably a motherfucker, but LaPlace ain't got no murders going on for real. So that shit was real foreign to hear that they wet that nigga up in LaPlace like that. I'm hearing that was on some other shit. So niggas probably was down there that knew niggas in Baton Rouge, and but I heard that was on some other shit.
They must have been on his trail then since he got killed out here in LaPlace. Them gunshots from that night still haunt my soul, to be honest. They known to stalk, they pray and learn their pattern. That's probably how they were able to catch him.
By a local gang who were affiliated with Vultures, while another local who had seemingly heard the shooting take place would add how the gunshots from the night still haunted their soul. The killings were clearly not confined to those who were the biggest factors in the streets. Now, even doing business with people involved in this Baton Rouge gangster rap war could make you a target, and not less than a month later, the final life would be taken in the lead up to YoungBoy's bold statements of being responsible for 19 murders in his city.
Nothing to do with YoungBoy. Nah, this one I
25-year-old Sage Wilson, also known as Lil Sage, was an alleged member of the SOG, aka Sleep or Grind Gang, who, as mentioned,
the nigga
are closely affiliated with
right,
leaders, and Sage could sometimes...
This shit ain't got nothing to do with YoungBoy, so I disagree with this one. This one got nothing to do with YoungBoy. Sage, little partner, shot him behind some stupid flunky shit. Like, Sage and them was out there. It was Sage, Marty, and a little dude, like, regular hood shit. Matter of fact, I actually used to hang with this one here. Fucked me up too. I used to hang with Sage personally. We all went to Park Forest. Me, him, Mugatti, Leo shit. Man, I'm talking about Park Forest had damn near every like Baton Rouge street rap nigga, all that shit. Around the time I was going to that bitch. Dude, a good nigga. No baddies, no nothing. You hear me? Like, Sage was a get money nigga from out Sleep or Grind. They was out there josing and shit. His little partner slapped his snowball out his hand, and Sage open palmed Lil One, like slapped Lil One ass. And
Oh
dude
shit.
shot Sage in his shit. You hear me? Yeah, so I don't know why Sage even on this bitch.
In their music videos. On the 22nd of February 2024, Sage was on the 11,000 block of Susan Avenue in the North Sherwood Forest neighborhood when a shooting would take place, and Sage was hit. He was transported to a hospital where he would pass away from his injuries. And right after the shooting, the police would seemingly have no idea of any suspects or a motive. And not much has seemingly changed since then, because over a year later, in May 2025, Baton Rouge police would put out a statement asking for any information related to the murder.
Tip for you, they're calling in for your help in an unsolved murder. Baton Rouge police say they are looking for information in the shooting death of this man here, Sage Wilson. Police say Wilson was shot on Susan Avenue last February.
So look, did Lil One go down for it, or they niggas
Nope,
stay?
Lil One still roaming around Sherwood right now. That's why everybody look at Marty different around there. That man still roaming that wood right now.
Well, Marty was a little quiet nigga growing up, just to be honest with you.
Yup. He's still roaming that wood right now. I know that shit. I know that personally.
Now his family and detectives are calling for answers from the community. If you know anything that can help investigators piece this one together, call Crime Stoppers 344-STOP 344-786.
If you have SNAP or Medicaid, you may qualify for a free iPhone or Samsung plus up to 10 gigabytes of data.
But like always, on social media and sites like Reddit, rumors about possible suspects have been circulating from day one, as people would point out how several Vultures members were posting tributes to their fallen member, YKWHIF Carr, the following day after Sage's death, with people soon coming to the conclusion that Sage, like the other SOG member Mu Gotti, had both been getbacks for the murder of Carr. 4K Trey members would also take part in dissing Sage, with Pistol P posting a story on Instagram the following day, seemingly laughing at his death. But when it came to specific suspects, this time the Reddit sleuths would stay quiet. However, over on Facebook, a different rumor would develop, as the Capital Region Crime Stoppers page would post about Sage in late April 2025, asking for people to come forward with more information. And as one of Sage's relatives would thank everyone in the comments for sharing the post, one person would reply back with a bombshell, saying how everyone knew who had killed Sage, and then dropping a full name, adding that Matthews had shot Sage after they got into a fight, while adding that Sage's friend, Sherwood Marty, who was an alleged SOG member, had then dropped him off to a hospital where he passed away. Interestingly, at least the part about Marty seemed to be possibly accurate, as Redditors would record death. But when it came to specific suspects, this time the Reddit sleuths would stay quiet. However, over on Facebook, a different rumor would develop, as the Capital Region Crime Stoppers page would post about Sage in late April 2025, asking for people to come forward with more information. And as one of Sage's relatives...
Thanks to everyone who shared this. I'm sorry. I pray for justice for Sage and for you and the family. Everyone knows who unalived Sage. He is in custody now. Dakir Matthew Sage punched him, and Dakir ended up shooting him. His cousin dropped him off at the ER, Sherwood Marty. His mother knows her son unalived your son, and now he ended up unaliving someone else's child. All the Sanders family was out there when, and them my cousins right there.
The Matthews, the Sanders,
the Sanders, them my people. Like, why I remember old boy was there, he say he fuck with SOG, and I'm like, you know, Scope?
Yeah.
Like, that's like Lewis Sanders. Like, they're my people.
Would thank everyone in the comments for sharing the post. One person would reply back with a bombshell, saying how everyone knew who had killed Sage, and then dropping a full name, adding that Matthews had shot Sage after they got into a fight, while adding that Sage's friend, Sherwood Marty, who was an alleged SOG member, had then dropped him off to a hospital where he passed away. Interestingly, at least the part about Marty seemed to be possibly accurate, as Redditors would record Marty's reaction on Instagram.
The worst birthday I have could have ever imagined. I ain't even on no Instagram, bro, but I ain't gonna lie, this one right here hot, different for real, bro. We were supposed to get rich and go retire together. You just had to see this moolah, huh? But what about us, bro, man? What about me and Pep, bro. Man, these niggas kidding with
the following day after Sage's death, where he would post several stories mourning his friend, even adding in one story how he had told Sage to hold on just for a few more minutes, which seemed to imply that he was indeed the one to drive him to the hospital. The alleged shooter, on the other hand, Dakaya Matthews, was arrested in another unrelated murder case in April 2025, where the police would also claim that he was part of a gang known as SGK, or Shiesty Gang Cartel, who had committed.
Hey, remember that night I was telling y'all about the fucking joint operation task they got? Baton Rouge and the surrounding parishes. We got Ascension right there, Baton Rouge. What that is? Is that East Feliciana?
East Feliciana.
Yeah, I think that's Livingston.
A series of auto thefts and other crimes. The investigation into the SGK would amount to more charges when in June it was reported that 3 people with connections to the gang were hit with drug and gun trafficking charges. For now, it's still not entirely clear who actually killed Sage, but most people seem to think that the Vultures were involved one way or the other, with some comments even comparing the suspected shooter's car, who died the day after, with T. Roy, King Von's best friend, who was murdered in 2017 after allegedly killing close to 10 people for the O-Block Black Disciples. T. Roy's death led to a group called Get Back Gang being formed in his honor, promising and delivering back-to-back murders as revenge for what happened to T-Roy, with commenters on Reddit claiming that the Vultures had killed many people in honor of Carr, calling him the Baton Rouge T-Roy, while some would even point their finger towards Ben 10 for allegedly dropping yet another bag. However, Sherwood Marty would also post on Instagram claiming the Vultures were repping somebody else's work. But regardless of who was truly responsible, there was one man who was always eager to take claim to the violence going on in his streets, even from a distance, and that man was NBA YoungBoy. About 2 months after the murder of Lesage, YoungBoy's Utah mansion was raided in April 2024, and YoungBoy was taken into custody. This came soon after he was caught up in a prescription drug scheme that involved YoungBoy playing doctor over the phone to acquire prescriptions for every rapper's favorite choice of drugs, the codeine-based cough syrup, aka lean. But this, in combination with his earlier gun charge, didn't stop YoungBoy from dropping new music. And on the 9th of June 2024, DJ Academics would post a song from YoungBoy on his page titled Tears of War, while sending a message from YoungBoy to his fans, saying that this had been the last song he recorded before the raid. In the song, YoungBoy would update his body count to a jaw-dropping 19, while daring his ops to go and tell people he's lying. As we've covered throughout this video, no fewer than 19 rivals of YoungBoy's 4K Trey camp have lost their lives in the out-of-control Baton Rouge gang war. And whether YoungBoy truly paid for all of these 19 hits or not, you could certainly argue that many of these men might still be alive today had YoungBoy's career never exploded the way it did. Had his 4K Trey affiliates never been elevated with the money, influence, and power that came with his rise to fame, none of this might have happened. In other words, even if he didn't personally pull the trigger, the ripple effect of his success may well have helped fuel one of the deadliest eras the Baton Rouge streets have ever seen. This is also no exact math, and even before YoungBoy was locked up in mid-April 2024, at least 2 more rivals would pass away in Baton Rouge during incidents that some have connected to 4K Trey. First, on the 27th of February, less than a week after the murder of Lesage, 18-year-old Deontay Bethley, also known as an aspiring rapper, an alleged 300 member called 39 Curveboy, was gunned down in a double shooting on the 1300 block of North 38th Street, less than a mile from the intersection of 38th and Chippewa, where YoungBoy hails from. The incident would also take the life of 19-year-old Louis Servin, but the events that led to these 2 youngsters losing their lives are murky at best. Following Curveboy's death, his friends from 300 would pay their respects, while some 4K Trey members would diss him, and some online detectives would even label Curveboy a 4K Trey body. But the majority of people were quick to dispel these claims. The most common theory seemingly being that Curveboy and Louise were associates who got into an altercation, which ended in a shootout that would ultimately end up claiming both of their lives. About a month later, on April the 1st, one of the deadliest days in recent Baton Rouge history would take place. The first to lose their life would be 26-year-old Timotheus Bowie Jr., who was gunned down just after midnight during a shootout at the Vultures rapper YKWHIFV's show in the Palace nightclub. Bowie was a man better known as Bop, and a man who was weirdly closely connected to both the Vultures and the Bleeders, as well as being a cousin of none other than TBG rapper Fredo Bang. And there's even early pictures of Bop hanging out with NBA members. Bop had even talked publicly about not picking a side in the war between the Vultures and the Bleeders.
People, this talking about how it's going on you gotta pick a side. I ain't picking no motherfucking side. Ain't no snake. That's what snakes do. Pick sides. Wrong with you? I'm from Skyland and I bleed.
After Bop's death, it would only take a few hours and another shooting would take place, this time in the heart of the Vultures hood in Bankstown, where the Vultures member Debug, real name Demetrion Grimm, and an alleged 4K Trey member called JJ, aka Bandit, real name Jonathan William, would both lose their lives, while a third person, a 16-year-old girl, was injured. As the news about all these casualties reached social media, numerous people would pay tribute to everyone who had lost their lives, with TBG members including Fredo Bang and Lit Yoshi paying their respects to Bop, together with many members of the Bleeders and their affiliates like SOG, with some Bleeders members also dissing the dead Vultures member Debug, who had allegedly taken part in the murder of True Bleeder, while saying that they were about to smack the whole city for Bop. The Vultures, on the other hand, would pay tribute to Debug and 4K Train members to Bandit, but this situation was about to get tricky fast, because not long after the smoke had cleared, Bop's alleged killer would be arrested, but he would turn out to be the Vultures member known as 1012, real name Marquise Payne. The case against 1012 would later, in 2024, move forward as he was indicted on second-degree murder charges for allegedly killing Bop. But an even bigger shock was when rumors began spreading soon after that Debug and JJ, aka Bandit, had not been both killed by their attackers, but rather JJ had actually been killed by other Vultures, either by accident or on purpose, after the Bleeders member Fully Gang Jit would claim that JJ had failed to shoot back when Debug was killed, leading to rumors that he was later backdoored by the Vultures. Shockingly, these rumors would seemingly turn out to be confirmed, as the Vultures rapper and Debug's brother V, real name Javea Ferguson, was arrested in August for the murder of Jonathan William, aka Bandit, or JJ, together with 3 other people. This incident possibly throwing a wrench into the relationship between the Vultures and 4K Trey, as JJ, aka Bandit, was not just any member, but the nephew of
So we got a lot to unpack, right? Hold on, we'll be right back. Yo. Yo.
You can hear me, brother?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Shit, yeah.
Man, if you want to end this show right here, the way it is, and clip this bitch up, try to go viral off this bitch.
You heard me? Say it. We did a good one, boy. We did a good one. We did a good one.
So look, y'all, I'm finna end this one, and I'm finna pop right back out, and we finna discuss this bitch. Because I want this to stay right here where it's at.
Let's get it.
Bet y'all pop right back out.